Stop the quibbling.
Oh, baby. I don't think I get to quibble today, Tommy. Let's Vlad and I get into it. Leroy, he is golfing today. He's at the Heat charity golf tournament today. So our favorite show pony is gone for the day. I don't know. I just texted him. I said, if you have any Heat royalty in your foursome, send selfies. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Bernie. I don't care who's in his foursome, but whoever he's got there with him, maybe Cole Swider. I mean, I know he has practice, so I think he's probably busy golfing today. So it may be under the ilk of like an Alonzo Mourning he's getting a foursome with. But I think tops of the list right now is Swider Man. I mean, this guy is out there. Woo! They did it again. They did it again. This is all they do. Oh, Max Strus is gone. You guys are screwed. You guys aren't going to find the shooting. And then, lo and behold, who do they have? This just sharpshooter. And his agent, he's talking about how his agent picked the right spot for him. And that after a couple shots, he was getting down on himself. They say, you keep shooting, Cole. You go out there and you keep shooting the lights out. And my God, he made that building electric in the fourth quarter against the Hornets. And it was a beautiful thing. They did it again. They did it again. This is incredible. How the scouting department always seems to find these sharpshooters. You kind of go back to the likes of Wayne Ellington, who's now on the staff. Where it's like, this guy's overlooked. He's on 9 teams. Why don't we just bring him here and just keep shooting? And the trickle down to Duncan Robinson, to Max Strus, and now Cole Swider takes the torch. So, I know people are going to be sitting here because he doesn't have a Lakers jersey on and not rank him in the top 60. But, we'll see you. We'll see you in May, where he's probably lifting the Heat to an Eastern Conference Finals because he hit 5 threes. Just great first impression from Cole Swider. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Vlad, why do you roll your eyes at that? Like you think that that's the case if he was on the Lakers, and he was on the Lakers.
No, I know that. But it's just you right now.
Yeah.
It's just you with the pom-poms right now.
He's so good, though. Did you see that fourth quarter yesterday?
Yes, I did.
Can I get a call from Jax? This was Cole Swider lighting it up, bringing the Heat back. It was a game that was kind of just, back and forth. It was let's maybe get away. The Hornets are going to take. Nope. Cole Swider shows Heat culture. We win no matter what.
Jaquez, double team, left side, bounce pass. Into the hands of Robinson. Out to Swider for 3. Splash!
I promised myself I wouldn't get postseason hype. Not tonight. But old King Cole came along. It got me all fired up.
What are you supposed to do? You can only feel how you feel, Jax. I mean, who can blame you when you see a performance like that from the next gem?
Jax loves his name. Jax has so many.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's got so many nicknames and metaphors to use with that.
I love it. Yeah. I think he was trying on the scrimmage the other day. He said a cold glass of Swider.
Oh,
I'm like,
dude, Christmas night it's gonna be Nat King Cole.
Oh
yeah,
man. This is very exciting. I mean, it was fun to have Miami Heat basketball back yesterday, but to see the things that were the most exciting were Cole Swider and then Jaime Jaquez, dude. I mean, this guy, like a glove, just fits right in there. Fits with any of these lineups. You put him with the vets, he's going to find a way. You put him with the young guys, he's going to lead them on the handles. That's just what he does. That's just, and so mature beyond his years, obviously a rookie who's coming in with some college experience, 22 years old. But I mean, immediately off the bat yesterday, Jaime Jaquez showing you that footwork, dude. Fancy as hell, getting into the post. He puts 9 shimmies on you, and they don't know what to do. They're hypnotized by the hair. They are bewildered by his movement. And you just see, oh, man, this guy looks like immediately ready to contribute right off the bat. These Hornets, they got the number 2 overall pick, except the problem with him was he got Highsmith last night. The locksmith was in business, and he was just stripping them left and right. I do have to understand, though, what the hell was going on with the Hornets, because they were very violent yesterday. They were punching Miami Heat players left and right. They gave Tyler Herro a bloody nose. Kyle Lowry, he took a bow to the face. You had Josh Richardson, who got the Goran Dragic memorial foul, where he got hit in the face, but the foul was called on him somehow. Drew Smith ended up getting hit at one point. It was very unbecoming of the Hornets. I think Steve Clifford needs to have a talk with everybody over there. But a lot of contributors for this Heat team that seem like they're going to be exciting pieces. A lot of them, dude. Because, Jimmy didn't play yesterday. Why would he? Bam came and did his thing in 15 minutes. And Kevin Love, he basically went and, put his uniform on and got some cardio. Kyle, a little bit of run there. But, between Jaquez and Highsmith and what Swider did yesterday, a lot of promising stuff. A lot of promising stuff for this supposedly depleted Miami Heat team. If you listen to the national media, want to say, oh, they lost Gabe Vincent and they lost Max Strus. And I don't want to do that to those guys because I like those guys. I actually rooted for those guys when nobody knew who the hell they were. Now everybody's going to act like the Miami Heat just lost this incredible tandem in the backcourt. I don't want to make it seem like I'm ungrateful to them, but the Miami Heat created those guys. I mean, let's be real about it. Max Strus, he was in 2 organizations. They told him to take a hike. Gabe Vincent, he wasn't a point guard before he got here. So to think that the wheel just stops is a little ridiculous. That they're not going to find other guys in their system to contribute at important times. And that's what you saw yesterday, dude.
All right, Tobin.
What?
You're right on that.
It's true.
You're right.
It's
I give
true.
you. That's absolutely true. But as a Heat fan, watching the postseason the last 3 years, the key was you needed another superstar or another scorer, right? Because those guys that you said, the Strus, the Gabe Vincent, as good quality players, complimentary players, they weren't the guys that when you need a bucket, when Jimmy can't get a bucket or is being guarded double team, you need a guy to get a bucket.
Right.
It's time for Tyler to step up.
I agree. And I don't think that Tyler was good in his 22 minutes. He scored 22 points. Didn't think we saw anything particularly different from him yesterday. He was just super, skillful with his jump shot. He hit that baby float a couple times. But everybody's talking about him in this camp, saying that not only the intensity that he's bringing, that he's got a little bit of an edge to him, a little bit more mature. Bam was talking about this at camp on Saturday when I asked him about it. He's like, there's just an efficiency in his dribbles, his decision-making. He's just doing everything, process everything, reading the game faster. I agree. I don't know if there's much in the regular season Tyler can do to shut anybody up other than maybe go and average 25, 26 like he's talking about. But it all is going to come down to the playoffs for him. The entire reason why they are in all these talks are because they don't know what he can be in the playoffs, because he broke his hand this past year. The year before that, he was dealing with the groin thing, and before that wasn't even really good. Talk that he was in the mud and things like that. So, yeah, he needs to prove some things that he hasn't shown since he was a teenager. I agree. But it's a long way away, Vlad. The journey just starts now. Right now, the journey is...
And this is going to be a weird journey for you, Tobin. You know that, right?
I don't think so.
I think it is.
Why would it be a weird journey?
Because if they do great, what you're saying right now, you can have 6 months of saying that.
Yeah.
And if they don't do well, this is a team that went an 8 seed and went all the way to the NBA Finals last season.
That's right.
So, yeah, it's kind of almost like the best of both worlds for you.
8 seed is like, first of all, it's an overstatement, okay? We know this team. They dealt with a lot of adversity last year. They had an incredibly unlucky year shooting the basketball. We saw when they got into the playoffs, the shooters actually started shooting, that they were a dangerous team. I mean, it was ridiculous the rate that these guys weren't hitting threes last year. All right, so they had that factor. Yeah, the injury factor. Everybody wants to act like, oh, what's more true of a description to the Miami Heat? Okay, a team that has been to the Eastern Conference Finals 3 out of the last 4 years with their core, or a team that was an 8 seed last year. Like, what's more of a realistic description of this team? They have one of the best pairings in the East in Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, and they have the greatest coach by every vote standard. in the league in Erik Spoelstra. Tyler Herro, despite all the reports, is not a bum. He's really good. Was a borderline all-star his 6th man of the year candidate year. So I'm just looking at everybody, and you want to say the cupboard's bare. Seems a little bit overblown. But, you guys continue to blow up Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. I don't want to do that because I like those guys. But you guys can act like that's the death knell for the Heat. It's not. And I'll just continue to watch Cole Swider. Just continue to show everybody that the Miami Heat are the greatest at taking. And by the way, the fact that the Heat have sent themselves now, it's like Pat Riley's the Pied Piper of undrafted talent now, because it's like, oh, you feel disgruntled? Oh, you feel overlooked? We'll get the best out of you. And by the way, haven't even mentioned the best part of yesterday's game. Haven't even mentioned it.
Which was?
I got to go to break. I can't tell you about it right now, Vlad. We'll be right back after this.
WQAM broadcasting live from the Ed Moore
right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Leroy is out today. He's at the Miami Heat golf tournament, although supposedly there's going to be a big storm coming. So,
You think the weatherman's going to be able to tell
I don't know.
fellow
I mean,
golfers if they're going to be able to get all 18 in?
Leroy just he forewarns them, like he's like, I see a storm's a brewing, like some sea captain. Maybe, I don't know. Hard to say, but that's the word. Is it's supposedly going to storm bad down there. That was your weather update from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm. YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Calling them up at 866-954-MORE for free consultations 24/7. So the best part of last night's Heat game was, you could argue Cole Swider. He was awesome. Okay. He was great. You could argue Jaime Jaquez and his footwork. Also great. I very, very much enjoy that. But the newcomer, Vlad, who
is this?
Was the best. And I got to be honest with you. A lot of Heat fans owe Pat Riley an apology because a lot of people were saying, washed Riley, can't get the whales, can't throw the harpoon anymore like he used to. Well, apparently you people didn't watch Thomas Bryant last night because he was amazing.
He could score.
That dude, I'll tell you one thing, dude. The words on him, he's always been able to score, right?
No, he was able to score in L.A.
Always able to score in L.A. and Washington before his knee injury.
Denver.
Offensively talented center. Let me tell you something, dude. Thomas Bryant doing it on both ends yesterday and hustling his ass off. And I almost didn't know what to do with my hands because I haven't seen the likes of a center that comes in to replace Bam that was this talented, and I don't know how long. This guy was so damn good. He was blocking shots. He had a play where LaMelo Ball, who was cooking yesterday, LaMelo was getting it going. It was good to see LaMelo back in action yesterday. That Hornets team moves fast. They got some real threats. But he tried to go in. Thomas Bryant rejected, but as Tony Fiorentino says, soft hands, kept it in bounds to himself. He heaves the ball, Kevin Love style, down the court to Josh Richardson for a jam. And good, my guy, wasn't great to have Jay Rich back. So, look, man, Thomas Bryant, very much under the radar as far as offseason acquisitions are concerned because Cody Zeller minutes last year, dude, and Dwayne Dedman, who threw a Theragun to get kicked off the team. You were praying every single time they came in, can the Heat just last? Can they last minutes without Bam on the court? This Thomas Bryant, not too shabby his first impression. He was really, really good. And he was like, it was one of those things, the thing that impressed me most, honestly, about Thomas Bryant was not the scoring, and it wasn't even that sick play, but like he felt yesterday, you could feel of guys who really didn't need to impress. It felt like he was hustling his ass off in that game. And I don't know if that's because he just wanted to make sure Orlando Robinson doesn't come for those minutes, but dude was like humming it down the court, was playing with a great intensity, and, really did it all. Was freeing up Tyler Herro on screens, was just doing all of it. So not only just the scoring, he had the pretty jump shot, he had the soft touch, he had the block big play to Jay Rich, but just played with he was trying to ooze all of that Heat culture out there to impress the fan base, his teammates, Erik Spoelstra. I thought he was very impressive yesterday. I thought that he was really, really impressive yesterday. And honestly, that was of all the stuff. I don't know if Cole Swider, he probably will end up shooting threes in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know if he will, but probably, just based on history and track record. Jaime Jaquez, I think he looks like he's NBA ready. I think he's going to have a rotation gig. I think. But Thomas Bryant, he showed you yesterday, oh, no, this is my backup spot. I know he had some comments this week that said he'd even like to get some time on the floor with Bam. We'll see. That seems like a thing everybody says.
I noticed that a lot of teams are doing that in the preseason so far, trying to put a lot of big 4 and 5s together.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening in the postseason.
Never happens in the postseason. It's a silly thing. Spo did the same thing last year, too. He tried to start Yurtseven next to Bam before Yurt got hurt, and it never works out. It never becomes a thing that anybody does in the postseason, and the Heat won't be there. We got to get into some stuff with Bam because he was slapped in the face yesterday with disrespect, and Erik Spoelstra's not having it. All right. We will get to that because I'm losing my patience and tolerance for this nonsense when it comes to the disrespect this man takes.
So it's quick for you to get into heat mode, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
It's like preseason.
Oh yeah.
Scrimmage. You're back in heat mode.
Oh baby. I can't wait. We got something for Wembanyama on Friday. He doesn't even know.
It's preseason.
I don't care, dude. I don't. Were you weren't excited for the Knicks? You didn't watch their preseason? Who they play?
They played Boston 2 nights ago. It was all right. It was good, but it's kind of tough when you're in the middle of the football season.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a little.
Why? There's no games till Sunday.
And
it was an off day. There was like no news.
The games don't mean anything.
No, that's wrong. See, this is, I'm glad you said this. Maybe this is just Knicks team franchise mentality. I don't know. But this is what matters the most, because you need to find, let me just tell you something, dude. You can't expect to go mining and not go through a lot of dirt before you find some hidden gems. And so for the Heat, that is what the preseason is. For all of the minutes that I have to watch of James Ennis or Drew Smith, then all of a sudden there's a Cole Swider. And then, this guy's going to be having a big performance somewhere. You never know. You never know. So, yes, while it seems like the preseason doesn't matter, it may appear that way. It is really the foundation and the bedrock of all things Heat culture. You can't just ignore it.
So the preseason is the root, the seeds to grow into the Heat culture garden.
Exactly, dude. You can't ignore the tree. You can't ignore the tree. And I know in New York it's harder to grow trees because of the concrete. But I'm just telling you, dude, that's why it's so important. You guys don't have any hidden gems you're excited about with the Knicks?
No, we pretty much know who our roster is.
Well, that's the shame.
That's why
you guys are always a step behind.
You're taking shots.
That's why you're always a step behind.
You're taking shots here. I could say, at least we knew who our team was by July 1st and throughout the summer. You didn't know who your team was until last week.
Your team was a team that couldn't take any games against the Heat without murdering Jimmy Butler's ankle.
Oh, come on. Now you're saying that.
Josh Hart taking out ankles. I saw that the Hornets tried to resort to some of that stuff last night.
I saw that the Hornets were playing physical. I don't know if they were trying to set send a message that they're the team to beat and it's in the South.
Yeah, in the Southeast.
But that was crazy that there was a lot of physicality for a first preseason game.
A lot of bows, a lot of hands. Tyler Herro, they bloodied his nose. I didn't like that.
I didn't like it either.
We'll take a quick break. Back with more after this.
The Dolphins are back on the field today, getting ready.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM, taking you up until 2 o'clock. Miami Heat, they win their preseason opener last night, 113-109 over the Hornets. We'll get back into it. Miami Dolphins will be back on the practice field this afternoon as they are getting ready for their Week 6 matchup against the Carolina Panthers. They announced yesterday they're going to be honoring Zach Thomas with for his Hall of Fame enshrinement this weekend. I saw that the Heat put up D-Wade. They updated his banner. It now says Hall of Famer on the bottom of his banner because he went in, of course, this summer. So a lot of exciting things to get into, MLB playoffs as well. And I got to get into this UFC switch that happened yesterday because there was some huge news with that. But let's bring in a guest here as we got a cool event coming on up. Stars and Strings, a great night of country music is coming to Hard Rock Live on November 1st. And we're giving you guys a chance to win tickets. Right now, your keyword of the day, you text the word country to 20357 and you're entered country to 20357. You can get your tickets at starsandstrings.com. The one half of the 99.9 Kiss Country Morning Show, TC and Dina B joining us here. TC joining us here in studio. What's going on, man? It's good to have you.
I mean, it's good to be here. I listen to you guys all the time on the drive home. I know he's off today, but I have to start with the Leroy. I've always wanted to do that.
I'm very excited. I'm happy. I wish he was here for you to hear that. He's out golfing today.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's still a good time. Like I said, listen to you guys all the time. So yeah, we're talking about this show because Hard Rock, they do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of amazing shows and things like that. Our show though is really different. So obviously country music is pretty much everywhere these days. I mean, College Game Day opens with country. Yep. You got Carrie Underwood. You got Stapleton. All football is country. And we're bringing Cole Swindell, Hardy, Jordan Davis, Haley Witters, Ashley McBride, and Brian Kelly, formerly of Florida Georgia Line, to Hard Rock Live. But it's not like a show that you've ever seen before. All the artists are on stage at the same time. They're all talking about how their songs were made, and they're playing acoustic. It's super cool, man.
It was. I went last year, and it was like you had, Kane Brown, Old Dominion,
Jason Aldean played last year.
Was there, and they all are on stage. They're throwing suggestions to each other. It's a really cool thing if you're a country music fan. We also had the whole mystery last year. We were very wondering if Jimmy Butler was secretly there because the Heat were playing at the same time. And I was wondering the entire was he there? Was Jimmy Butler backstage? Was he seen? Because his Instagram made it seem like he was there.
Exactly. And we still don't know to this day. And I don't know if we'll ever know. He'll probably take that to the grave because of NBA rules and all that stuff. But I think he might have been there. And the reason, as you probably talked about before, Jimmy's got a country album coming out.
I know.
And he's got 45 tracks already done. I can tell from the insight that I know, Cole Swindell and Hardy, who are both on this show, they've done stuff with Jimmy. So I know that he'd have a game that night too. So Jimmy will not be able to be there, or he'll play the game again.
Little maintenance program.
Yeah, absolutely. But this is where you're going to see, the artists that Jimmy know, this is Jimmy's format, which is super cool, not only for you guys, but for us too, because you think country music is oh yeah, the kicker and the punter on the Dolphins and the backup goalies for the Panthers, they're the ones that listen to country, but not anymore. Jimmy's made it mainstream, at least down here in South Florida, and it's really helped.
It's funny, man, because you go into the Heat locker room and he has the aux. He has a giant speaker in there with the Heat fireball on it and stuff, and he's got the entire locker room in it because they'll have Tyler Herro be like, "That's what I love about Sunday."
Yeah, baby.
Oh, Tyler Herro singing some Craig Morgan. How about that?
Absolutely, man.
He has trickled it down over everybody. So when you've talked, because you talked to all the stars, and it's what is their thoughts on him being into this world and entering into? I guess he wants to be. Is he like a collaborator? What is he like? What have they said about what his role is going to be?
The best way I could put this is the DJ Khaled of country music. So kind of like putting some artists together, and he might have a little like Lil Jon and stuff, the yes and things like that in songs. But that is really what he's doing. He's putting artists together that might not have ever worked together before. He's being that central glue there, putting them together and then making hits. From what I've heard, the music's actually really good too. It's not just some hokey thing oh, here's Jimmy Butler, as you've seen with Big Face. Everything he touches, he really gets into. And this is going to be the next phase of that, where it's like, okay, this guy's really bringing some stuff to the table.
That is really cool, man. So who are you looking forward to most coming up on November 1st? I know it's probably hard playing favorites, but is there somebody you haven't seen in a while? Is there anybody with new hits that you're excited to see?
Well, I'll tell you, Hardy, another cool thing about country music these days is Hardy is really a rock and roll artist, but there's no real place for rock and roll to live anymore, for rock and roll to go. So he's faded his way into country, best friends with Morgan Wallen. So Hardy out there will be super cool. Brian Kelly, actually, half of what used to be Florida Georgia Line, will be really cool as well. His new music is all just like a South Florida vibe. He's the Florida in Florida Georgia Line, so he'll be down here as well. But it's just going to be a show that you've never seen before. Truly an acoustic show. All the artists getting along together, like you said, throwing suggestions back and forth. And by the way, the reason I'm on today talking about it is because we just released some of those hold tickets that we were having for people like a la Jimmy Butler, whose camp came back and said, no, not this year. So if you want to get some last minute tickets,
they winked when they said that too.
A little bit of a wink. We will see. But if you want to get those last minute tickets, there's only like 100 left. Starsandstrings.com is the place to go.
Yeah, it is a cool thing too, because they'll throw out suggestions to the audience. My wife and I were sitting in the upper deck last year. I'm like, Kane Brown can't hear you. She's like, he can hear me. I'm like, maybe he actually could.
We got to get you some
in here really good,
better tickets.
That would be that. Hey, listen, I'm all for it, dude. It really was cool. I had never seen anything like that before last year, and I'm a huge fan. You hook it up for when we go to the amphitheater up there, and it's a fun time. Everybody who listens to the show knows that I really like country music.
Yeah,
we're excited for Jelly Roll to come to Riptide also, but. Listen, man, I know you're also a Monster Dolphins fan. Like, how excited are you for right now? What's going on?
You know what? It's the highs and lows. I'm waiting for the Achane news today to see how long it's actually going to be. But you know what? It's exciting. It's for the first time in my life, and I say it every year. It's like, I'm going to get excited. I'm not going to let this team let me down, a la Hurricanes. But the Dolphins actually haven't let me down yet. So I am super pumped about this season. I mean, you hit it all the time. You got the Tua train. I'm excited for Ahmed to come back and run a little bit this week, because this week, you and I could probably play running back and be able to take care of business against the Panthers.
They're very bad.
But I am a little nervous where the Eagles after that, and then the Chiefs a couple of weeks later too. But it's super exciting to be a Dolphin fan.
Well, that's the thing that's fun about it, is even the bad games, they were taking on the Giants last week. They did what they were supposed to do, but the explosive plays, I don't know what to do with this, because
it's wild.
It's mostly just been it's the Dolphins are winning 17-14 or they'll lose 17-14. And now it's just I feel like every game I have to watch, not just because of the job, but just because I feel like I'm going to miss something.
Yeah, absolutely. Every minute of every game. And I think, is that Vlad in there today?
Yeah.
Hi, Vlad. I know you're a Jet fan. So, I listen to the show when Vlad sticks in, and it's just, I love seeing this sticking to Jet fans too, man. It feels good. Jet fan, Patriot fans, it doesn't matter. We just get to stick it to people, and I really enjoy that part of it right now.
Yeah, it's been crazy fun, man. And I don't know. Yeah, I know there's always this thought of is the shoe gonna drop? I don't think it is, man. I think that they just have a good team, super entertaining. Tua looks amazing. Yeah. Cheetah has been incredible. Yeah, the A-Chain stuff was super upsetting, just because I didn't think he was going to give us this year. No. I didn't think that he was going to be this kind of good, and it really feels like they actually have maybe the two most explosive guys in the league. They maybe already did with him and with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Now they add this kid who's every game he's going to run for a 50-yard touchdown.
And also another exciting part too is I know after the Bills game, I heard, I don't know if this has been put on the air or anything like that, that you had the secret meeting with Fangio, and then it looked great the week after. So we got to thank you, Tobin, for putting some plays in there to help the defense out a little bit. I know you're a very humble guy.
Thank you.
But at the same time, I know there was a little closed door meeting with just you and old Fangs over there.
He needed it.
Yeah.
For him, he's just sometimes the old don't like to change their ways.
Yeah, you're right.
And for him, I just needed to say hey man, you came in here as the alleged guru.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go out there. Let's get things done. And let's destroy Daniel Jones
Yeah.
because this offensive line is terrible.
Well, it was appreciated from all Dolphins fans. We got to say thank you to you for that as well.
You, where do people follow you on Instagram?
At TC on air is where you can find me.
You have one of the best Dolphin celebrations. You have this giant ass flag.
Yeah.
That is, where does this reside during the week? Are you allowed to have this? Because if you guys don't know, TC, whenever the Dolphins win, you basically take this giant ass flag as if you were coming through the tunnel.
Yeah, correct.
And you run down the neighborhood with
Yeah, I do. You know what? It just lives in my garage. It was something I've had since a child. But yeah, I have a theme for every game of the season. So I just love celebrating and, like I said, sticking it to other people. Like when we beat the New Jersey Giants this past Sunday, and I got a lot of slack for this because I call them the New Jersey Giants. But when you don't play in New York or you don't practice in New York,
Makes no sense.
You're going to be called the New Jersey Giants. So the Dolphins are now the Giants. We own New York and New Jersey, that whole area up there. And it's just, you know what? It's just fun to be able to be a Dolphin fan. It's like you used to have to put the bag over your head and hide. But now it's like, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to run down the street with no shoes on. Haven't got the cops called on me yet. So I just enjoy it, man.
Keep it going, dude. Keep it
I'm
going.
going to.
So what else we got coming up on November 1st? What are the other things excited about with this event? Again, starsandstrings.com is where you guys can get your tickets for this. And if you guys want to win tickets right now, you can text country to 20357, country to 20357. That is our code word of the day for Stars and Strings, November 1st at Hard Rock Live.
Look, the night before Halloween, obviously the kids are going to have their night. You take them around, do the things, have the fun, but then have a little parents' night out the night after. Truly, if you're a country music fan at all, if you enjoy country, which seemingly a lot, and we're bringing a lot of people to the table these days. Country seems to be like the cool format now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We've known forever, but it's like, okay, welcome. We would love to see you there. Tickets aren't ridiculous either. That's another thing, especially with all these shows. You got Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, all these people coming to town. But this show, the ticket prices won't be ridiculous. So like you said, starsandstrings.com, if you want to go, it's going to be a good time.
I might have to do that to like convince my daughter, be like, hey, why don't we just do this instead of Taylor Swift? Because that's the one I'm getting hit up for every week. I'm like,
yeah, you're not kidding.
Woo.
Those Swifties, bro.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna probably but I have negotiated down to movie.
Okay.
You know, so like we're gonna try and find something this weekend to go take it to the Eras tour to see it on the big screen. I mean,
just be prepared. I just looked at it. It's the movie is 2 hours and 48 minutes long.
I
so
saw that. I noticed that. Yeah. It's the whole thing.
So just be prepared.
Have you has there been a lot of buzz with this Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift nonsense on Kiss?
Yeah, you know what? We're taking full advantage of it. I mean, a lot of people hate it. I think whether they're together or not, I mean, what a great marketing idea.
Oh my God.
I wish I could fall into a marketing thing just like this, because they're just, whether again they're together or not, you can't go anywhere without Travis Kelce being talked about. And Taylor Swift, when she's not even touring, she's the only thing people are talking about, which is truly kind of scary how much power that woman actually has.
Yeah.
Because if she, getting into political season, she announced a candidacy tomorrow, she would win.
Probably.
She would win by a landslide because it doesn't matter. It's Taylor Swift's world and we're all just living in it.
Do you remember? I remember Taylor Swift being at the chili cook-off.
Two of
dude.
them. Two
I remember
chili.
back. I was working the beer trucks for Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Do you remember like when the switch came where she became like an Uber megastar? Like when it happened, because it was like I was like, oh, Taylor Swift, that's kind of cool. I remember when she was a kid and was a country star, but now is like obviously the biggest thing in music.
It was when she decided to leave country. I mean, and that's just the way. But now, again, her music, just like everything else, is tending back. But that's when she made the big jump. And you see a lot of artists trying to go the Taylor Swift route right now and just failing miserably because, dude, she's one of
she's
one.
A monster.
Uh-huh.
She's a monster, dude. All right. Stars and Strings, November 1st. You guys check it out. Hard Rock Live. Starsandstrings.com is where you get your tickets. TC, give us the lineup one more time before we get you out of here.
You got Hardy, you've got Cole Swindell, you've got Jordan Davis, Ashley McBride, Haley Witters. Haley Witters, by the way, she sounds like 90s country. So whether you like the new country or the old country, there's going to be something for you. And then Brian Kelly, formerly of Florida Georgia Line. You get the Florida Georgia Line.
What was that an amicable breakup? Did they just feel like we had all the smash hits together?
It wasn't amicable. I mean,
really?
but when artists do this, people get too creative for their own good sometimes. And then they'll break up, and then in a couple years later, they'll be like, okay,
Reunion.
let's make a lot more money than what we've done solo together.
It's like pro wrestling.
That's exactly it, buddy. That's exactly it.
Guys, check out TC every single morning with Dina B on 99.9 Kiss Country. I listen to them on the way to school with my daughter. They're fantastic. They do a great job. and are always putting on great shows down here in South Florida. Thanks for stopping by, man. I really
Thank you,
appreciate it.
sir.
Take a quick break. Back after this. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. It's our Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Tunga Vailoa. Not
Tua Tagovailoa.
A for effort. Dolphins quarterback.
Tua.
It's our Tua. It's our Tua.
Tua.
Tua, Tua, Tua. Tua, Tua, Tua. Can go to hell. Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback.
Daddy loves you guys.
Our Tua with Tobin and Leroy.
Check the history of
Our Tua the Pro, ladies and gentlemen. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Taking you up until 2 o'clock. Thanks again to TC from 99.9 Kiss Country for stopping by. And Leroy's not in today, but whew. I don't know if it's like this where Leroy's golfing, but it is raining hard outside, Vlad.
Leroy might as well come back.
You might as well, dude. You might want to get some shelter over here. It's looking rough. Looking rough out there right now. Yeesh. I think it's coming down even harder than that. Brutal outside, man. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Miami Heat, they win last night, their preseason opener, 113-109. I think the big standouts for everybody in this one was threefold. First of all, you had Cole Swider and his amazing performance in the fourth quarter, 17 points, 5 of 9 from downtown. And Cole after the game, because that building did get popping for him. Cole after the game was saying atmosphere was pretty awesome for a preseason game. Pretty. I mean, he was sick yesterday. I can't believe he was sick. And by the way, he did this in the script. Everybody's been talking about this with Cole Swider, right? First of all, what Bam said on camp was he's been the best young guy newcomer that he's really shown out, right? Then on top of it, he comes there in the scrimmage. He's hitting 3 balls over like 2 guys. He's hitting them all over the place. Everybody's saying he's like Duncan, like he's that kind of shooter. We'll see. I mean, it's heavy words for the guy who's the all-time franchise 3-point leader, but hell of a first impression that he had yesterday. Do you have him, Vlad? This was Cole yesterday on the atmosphere.
I have him talk about Bam.
I have him talking about Bam.
Mom and uncle send me every single tweet that's out about me. So, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, but Bam's been a great role model for me. I've been nothing. If you guys listen to my podcast, I'm going to shout out my podcast here, the Cole Swider Show. I'm very complimentary of Bam. Bam is in the gym 4 or 5 times a day, and he's been a really great role model for me, and he's a great franchise player to have on your team. So, Bam's one of the best players in the league, and he treats everyone with first-class respect. So I have nothing but high praise for Bam. It was surprising. I mean, everyone says that the crowd in Miami is not good, and then tonight it was great in preseason game 1. So, no, it was amazing. It was amazing to be able to do that. But all glory to God, man. I wouldn't be here without him. And yeah, it just felt great to be out there.
What a humble kid.
What a gem this guy is, this Cole Swider. He's got a podcast already too. Like he didn't even get into the game after his success, like Duncan Robinson did. He goes, I already got a podcast, the Cole Swider Show. Hey, I wonder if I can find that on the Odyssey app. Go check it out.
Schmeathen's the worst.
Go check it out, dude. Go check it out. What did Schmeathen say?
Schmeathen said another podcast. Cut him.
Well, at least listen, Schmeathen, he's coming into it already with the podcast. It's not like the next project, you know. So we'll see, man. But he was tremendous yesterday, and yeah, what he says about Bam, like, look, Bam's work ethic is crazy, and he really is good to everybody, and he's not like he's usually friends with like everybody on the team, and not necessarily like the other stars on the team. We know he's friends with a lot of stars. I'm sure he'd like to have some of them as teammates here.
Question, and I know you probably asked this before, or you've been asked this before, but now that UD40's out,
yep,
Who's the guy? Who's the leader? I know Bam said he might have I think Bam has the longest tenure right now.
Yes.
So is he to him? Is he the guy?
I think the way that it's interesting because Spo said they're going to name captains, I think, at the end of the preseason. If I had to guess, he's going to go Jimmy Bam Co. because they did that one year before, too, where it was Goran, James Johnson, and then UD. So if I had to guess, he's going to go Co. He's going to go Jimmy and Bam. If I had to guess, I don't, unless he just gives it to Bam. I'm not sure. But it is funny you mentioned that with the UD being gone because there's this Bam does this pregame routine where he like rocks on his back and then he like gets thrown up, like gets pulled up almost like you're like doing a pull up, and so UD would usually grab both of his hands and flings Bam up in the air. It's really cool. You've never seen the pregame routine? I'll show it to you.
I remember that.
So now
he doesn't have anybody to fling.
So the person flinging him up now is J Rich. J Rich is now the guy who's out there flinging him up, but he's not getting as much air, at least the first time around. Like, I think he may have to work a couple leg days because Bam's not small. Yeah. And UD's got, that old man, grown man strength that just like, he can throw Bam up willy-nilly. And J Rich, it looked like it was a tough pull for J Rich.
J Rich cannot throw Bam up in the air.
It was tough.
Bam is not a small person.
I know.
So for the fact that there's only one man on the team that could have done that was UD. Like you said, he just got old school.
They may have to give the job to like Haywood Highsmith. They may have to give it to somebody.
Bryant, Thomas Bryant might have to.
They may have to because UD got him up there, dude. UD sent him up there like a helicopter. And I watched the video they put up there, and it's adorable because look, they're best friends. So I'm here for the content, but I just think like you might have J Rich throw out his back if he has to do that to Bam because. Like you said, Bam is very big, and J Rich is not as big as him. And I don't know if he can hold up for 82 games. I don't know if he could do that for 82 games.
I'll tell you one person that doesn't need to do that. Kevin Love doesn't need to do that.
No. Can't be Kevin Love. Thomas Bryant's a good suggestion, or Orlando Robinson.
Yes.
Somebody in Bam's weight class might be the way to go. That might be the way to go for that for the time being. But it's still cool. I like it. I like the best friends getting in on it, but Gabe Vincent was also his best friend. They did not have Gabe Vincent do that last year. So they may have to go tandem. It may have to be J Rich with Haywood Highsmith. I don't know. But I'm just basing it off the review of the first video.
J Rich can't do it by himself.
It looked like a heavy ask. It did. It looked like a heavy ask.
Kyle Lowry might be able to do it.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Kyle's looking lean though. I'll tell you what. He looked like he was in good shape.
Okay.
He looked like he was in good shape. Did get the start yesterday, so all that drama can be put aside for the time being.
So when Spo said this might be one of the deepest Heat team, are you starting to believe that?
I believed it when he said it because he's Erik Spoelstra. He always knows first. And quite frankly, I got 7 minutes of Jovic yesterday because he got banged up, and I'm like, not enough Jovic, but it's not like I missed him because there were a lot of other guys you wanted to see. So yeah, I don't think you can doubt Erik Spoelstra on that. So we'll see with this, man. Let's go out to the Toyota of Hollywood guest line. Shop hundreds of Toyotas indoors in one of America's largest showrooms at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan, and the executive director of Miami Heat Broadcasting, a man who does a great job setting up all things in Heat broadcasting. Ted Ballard is stopping by right now. Ted, how you doing this morning? How's everything going? You staying dry? It's a kind of a monsoon out there.
Yeah, it started off with a heavy downpour this morning, Tobin, but we're doing our best to stay inside in the moment.
So, Ted, you have a really cool thing. I saw this the other day at the scrimmage, but you guys have this. There's a lot of renovations that are going on over at the Kaseya Center. New bathrooms, new flooring. It's look at new screens up there. But the broadcast area has gotten switched up a little bit too. So can you tell us what you guys have going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited to unveil the new Dr. Jack Ramsey Memorial Media Center, for the Hall of Fame coach and broadcaster who spent 8 years with the Miami Heat. And for the first time in our history, in arena history, we have all of the broadcasters, TV and radio for home and visiting TV in one location. So we've worked. It's a project 2 years in the making, and we're super excited to have it come to fruition this fall.
What went into you guys deciding you wanted to name it after Dr. Jack?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. He has so many connections, Tobin, to this organization that obviously people knew him as a legendary broadcaster, iconic broadcaster. In the early to mid 90s when he joined Eric Reed, and his calls still kind of ring true with Heat Nation and a lot of our fan base. But he was so connected to the basketball operations aspect of our organization and to the business. So many people fondly recall Jack. And, when you think about it, he was Bob McAdoo's coach at the Buffalo Braves. He was a rival coach to Pat Riley when Pat was coming up with the Lakers, and Jack was, in Portland. And then clearly everybody, the well-known stories of him in Portland with the Spoelstra family and Coach Spo attending his clinics. But that relationship, as most know, was a mentoring relationship long into Spo's own coaching career. So I think that his connection to this organization, he's kind of a fabric of the culture kind of guy that just is so beloved and has endeared himself in so many ways that it was just the right choice. He was kind of the logical choice if we were going to name a new area in broadcasting after someone.
Yeah, I loved it. Getting to sit there on the scrimmage night, it was cool. One of the things I was always worried about, filling in on the couple pre-games that I did with the company, it is cool being there amongst the fans, but I was always like doing the hover over with my laptop because look, the people are there having fun. The beers are flowing. I'm always like, there's going to be some guy here. Someone's going to hit a game-winning shot, and it's going to be fountain time over there. So to have that little, that whole little cutoff area in the lounge it was a beautiful setup. You guys did a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, thanks. We Jax and his crew and the whole radio broadcast with Tommy Solana, Amy and Jax, they've now moved into the loge that we were temporarily in with TV the last couple of years. So again, it's just so great that everyone is in one area. It's a lot easier now being on that loge level, that suite level for Jax and Amy to kind of do their two-step between the TV pre and post and their new location. But there was just so many, there was a lot of detailed thought and planning that went in from so many departments in the organization to make this happen and to clear this space. And it's just, to be honest, it's hard to believe that those 2 years have passed so quickly to realize that now it's actually taken shape.
Now you guys are planning on are you planning on a grand? We had that with the UD section. Is there going to be a grand unveiling of this whole setup?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it is. We're super excited. We actually have 4 of Dr. Jack's 5 children coming down. They're obviously not children anymore. They're well into adulthood, but they're coming down on November 1st, and we're going to have a ribbon cutting ceremony, and they're all going to be part of it. And I wish I could convey to you just how excited they are as a family to be able to take part in all of this and to know that their dad, who was such a, not only a legendary figure in the NBA, but just a loving, caring person who everyone enjoyed. They're super excited about the fact that this is going to kind of enshrine his memory for a long time.
It's a beautiful setup, man. You guys did a great job, Ted. Really appreciate you stopping by to let us know about it. And how did you enjoy last night? How did you enjoy Cole Swider, the Cole Swider show in the fourth quarter?
Well, as I'm sure that Eric Reed is such a wordsmith, and it took him all of about a couple minutes to come up with Swider Man, and I'm sure that will catch on quickly. But it's funny. Eric even said late in the game, for those watching, you tend to think that these games don't matter. But I mean, Tobin, you've been a fan for a long time. Time and time again, we've had these incredibly exciting preseason games. And I thought what was great, Cole's story in the fourth quarter was tremendous. But, to me, it was just as enjoyable to watch Thomas Bryant, so animated with the reaction. And it just shows you that these guys do care. I think they understand what's at stake. Leroy's been a player in preseason, knowing what it's like to try and, make the cut or make the team. And so, these games do matter. And I think it's great for the fan base to realize, that's Heat culture. Every game from preseason to game 82, they always treat it like it matters.
It was really cool to see. And I love seeing the bench just take such joy in watching what Cole did, what Thomas did. It was awesome to see. Ted Ballard, the Vice President and Executive Director of Heat Broadcasting, stopping by. Ted, we appreciate the time, man. We're looking forward to seeing the official unveiling of the Dr. Jack Ramsey Media Center. It's a beautiful setup. You guys did a great job, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks, Tobin. Appreciate it. Great work.
Yeah, there you go. Ted Ballard. We'll take a quick break, get into the little Dolphins as they are back on the practice field today. De'Von Achane talking about his injury and where things are at with that. We will talk about the Dolphins' rookie sensation back after this. All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, we got your chance to win tickets to the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs at Homestead Miami Speedway on October 21st and 22nd. Easy to enter. Just go to WQM.com/contest. And if you'd like to purchase tickets, go to HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com. Last night, the Astros took out the Twins. That was actually in the afternoon. 9-1. Houston has a 2-1 series leading the division series. Rangers, they're moving on. They sweep the ALCS. 100-win Orioles. Take a hike.
A lot of the hundo win teams are on elimination.
Take a hike, dude. So they win last night 7-1 today. Packed schedule as you have Phillies hosting the Braves in game 3 of their series at 5:07. The Twins will try and stave off elimination tonight as they host the Astros at 7:07. And then the Diamondbacks, they take on the Dodgers at 9:07. Apparently, the Texas Rangers are keeping track of their magic number. Did you see how they're doing this, Vlad?
How they doing this? They're not doing Major League Baseball type of things, are they?
They are. Well, baseball players love naked.
They love nudity.
They love nudity. They love nudity. Everybody does. I mean, who doesn't remember the famous story of Mike Redmond taking batting practice naked? You know, like there's something. Who had was it Jason Giambi had the golden thong?
Yes, when he was in a slump, he would wear a golden thong.
He had the golden thong.
And actually gave it to Jeet.
Yeah, Jeet was a little sheepish with admitting that he wore the golden thong.
And it got him out of a slump.
You know, look, the baseball players are very superstitious. That's one. And for two, they love nudity. But apparently, their catcher is keeping track of the magic number, writing the magic numbers down to the World Series on his ass cheek.
Oh, come on. Man.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
Bruce Bochy was saying
that's a whole different meaning of balls and strikes. Come on.
I'm telling you, dude. Austin Hedges, he's apparently writing it on his ass cheek, and Bruce Bochy goes to him during the he goes, Hedgie, what's the magic number? And of course, he's going to show off his cheeks. Now that didn't get on television, as far as I could tell, but baseball, they love nudity. Baseball loves nudity, dude. They do. They love being naked. That's
you can't have a figure or a picture of an individual anymore because that might be considered.
Oh, you mean like Major League, like they're stripping the owner,
right? Like
something
like that, or
yeah,
you definitely a celebrity or somebody that you like, something to that effect. You can't do that.
You can't do that these days. You get canceled,
right?
And I don't know who was the Rangers. Who would their beefy with? Jerry Jones? I don't know who they would even use for that. But no, they're going magic number on the ass cheek. But the thing that's going to happen is they have a couple things. The Rangers are they're kind of becoming the fun team. I'm a little jealous of them because, well, for a couple reasons. One, Hedgie and his ass cheek. I mean, that seems like great fun. But for two, I don't know if you've noticed this, but have you seen what their rallying call is? They are playing Creed.
Really?
Yes, they have used something that the Marlins used back in 2009. The Power of Scott Stapp, but instead of having their own original, which of course will be Marlins Will Soar, a great song. Let's play ball, it's game day. We got strikeouts, trace hits, double plays. Instead of that, apparently they're just playing Arms Wide Open. But now, all the Rangers fans at these games, as soon as they win, they're getting with Arms Wide Open. And so they have Creed. They have brought back Creed.
Creed is getting money and some back pay.
I gotta think that they'll be like. There's no way it's not good for business. It's kind of there's something about that. What happens during the hockey playoffs? Blink 182 usually gets Flow
Rider. Flow Rider came down and did it for Game 3 at Sunrise.
Did he?
Yeah.
I thought Kodak was our guy for that.
Well, no, Kodak was inside Sunrise doing his thing, but I'm saying outside of Sunrise from Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final, he was outside performing. And now that I'm thinking about it. If they make it to the World Series, Creed is probably going to perform.
Oh, definitely. He loves baseball
at Globe Life Stadium. Life Stadium.
He loves baseball. Like I remember hearing the stories of him getting the opportunity to do that. Like, dude. Marlins will soar. Well, now a classic we all laugh back and look at, we all look back on with fondness in our heart. At the time, it was ridiculous. Like, he's wearing a Dan Uggla jersey, jamming out and making a Marlins will soar. And Marlins don't soar. I don't even understand what that means.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. But like, they would play that before every game, and I think all he got for that, I think David Sandsworth, I think he just got free tickets. I think that's it. But no, they'll definitely bring him back for first pitch. Has to.
No, you got to.
Dade South says the intangibles love nudity. You're not wrong.
Back to, by the way, you know
what?
The avid listeners and followers, they've been saying that
Intangibles Wednesday.
Intangible Wednesday,
It
back
is.
to back intangibles.
Intangibles guest, because guess what? We're going to talk about the most intangible sport there is with David Dwork coming up, because we're going to talk some Panthers coming up in the 1 o'clock hour today.
Oh man, we're doing an intangible trifecta.
It is an intangibles hump day here on the show. Leroy, by the way, he says he's on his way to the golf tournament, but he says it's pouring. So I don't know if he's going to get rained out or what's going to happen.
People know Leroy did not take a mental day because he dropped the curse in the first segment.
No,
yesterday's show.
Oh, that was so good though.
Oh, we'll play it.
What a delight that was. What a delight that was yesterday. So big news for the Dolphins that we're going to be waiting upon is the status of De'Von Achane. I am really, really hesitant to put anything on this as far as like timeline, because yesterday, here's what happened. Monday, what happened was everybody was like, Mike McDaniel, you guys are overblowing it. He doesn't seem that concerned. That's not how I read it at all. Not that he wasn't concerned, but I was like, he seems like he knows something with De'Von Achane that's going on, but he won't say it. Then we get the reports yesterday, and they were very scary because the first reports out, I think it was from Tom Pelissero, he was talking injury reserve already. He was like, 4 weeks, maybe stretch it out to 6 because you got the bye in the mix there. So you get a lot of time off with De'Von Achane out. Then you have Ian Rapoport, who comes out there, and he's like, it's a week-to-week thing. I don't know what to believe anymore, okay? I don't know what the injury status is. I don't know where we're at with this thing. And then we have Achane yesterday, and he just gives me the very inspiring, only the strong survive, and I'll be back better than ever. And I don't know if that's to say, because I could take that 2 ways. That could mean that, hey, this is going to be a journey and I'm going to come back better than ever, or that he's surviving and he's going to come back quick. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you what it means. He's not going to be available for Sunday night versus Philadelphia.
No, I don't think so.
That's what that means.
Which sucks.
And I think that's what all Dolphins fans would be thinking about. I think you figure they'll clean up the mistakes they did against the Giants and really mollywop the Carolina Panthers. Get so that you guys, hopefully, in the dream scenario, by the fourth quarter, Mike White's taking snaps and all the starters are just, pads are off and they're just chilling on the sideline after a 50 burger being dropped on the Panthers. But Sunday night versus Philadelphia, they may be undefeated or they may be coming off a loss, but this might be one of the most highly anticipated games.
Appreciate the South. Apparently they are placing him on injured reserve. Schefter just tweeted this out 5 minutes ago.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, man.
So
De'Von Achane is going to be placed on injured reserve. This is from Adam Schefter. Injured reserve due to his knee. He will now miss the Dolphins' next 4 games: Carolina, at Philadelphia, New England, at Kansas City. Team's bye week is week 10, so he'll be eligible to return week 11 against the Raiders.
Damn it. Oh, yeah. The two games against the Super Bowl participants of last season, he's going to miss.
Mother. He was so good, dude. I can't believe
Wilson, ice up.
Yeah, Jeff Wilson is coming back, and hopefully
Jeff
Achman's on the men. Chris Brooks is a moose, and look, Mostert's been good. I mean, the whole plan was to have Mostert anyway. Mostert's been really good this year too, but this dude's been a sensation. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it really feels like every time he touches same way with Cheetah. He's like the running back version of Cheetah. Cheetah is like always open. This guy, every time he touches the football, you never know if he's going to be gone.
You can't be in the top 5 in rushing and have the
in
least
3
amount of
games.
carries that anybody's seen.
3 games it took him to get there.
Right. You missed.
He didn't play week 1. He got
And he
like
was
one
healthy.
carry week 2.
What, 1 carry? Might as well say he didn't play.
Yeah, he didn't play. He did this in 3 weeks. He's number 2 in rushing in the league. God, sucks, dude. Because here's the thing. The Dolphins have done a good job of supplanting the injuries. You know, they did a good job with Jalen Phillips. Von Ginks has been awesome. Kendall Lamb for Teron Armstead. He's been awesome. Jalen Waddle was out of game. They scored 70. They, even.
But hold on.
What?
But Achane is not the starter, though. Mostert is the starter. Achane comes in, but it's not. Come on. It's not like Raheem is doing.
He's not I understand. They still have their. But this guy. Listen, if he wasn't
different, he might have he's got a little bit more juice, but it's not like Mostert doesn't have juice, bro. He's one of the fastest guys.
He's got juice.
He's got a lot of juice.
Achane's got more than juice. He's got like he's a juice bar. He's got like acai. He's got the mango. He's got all of it.
He's got all of it.
He's got the pomegranate, the dragon fruit. He's got it all, dude. This guy, he's like Sonic the Mother Bleeping Hedgehog out there. You hand him that football and it's gonna be 60. So yeah, they've done a good job. But this is the first guy that's like really been lost, and you're like, oh, this guy might be one of our best players, and now he's gone. The other guys, it was like
second.
What do you mean?
Ramsey. You lost it.
Yeah, but we haven't had Ramsey.
Yeah, you haven't
had Ramsey. I don't even know what life with Ramsey's like.
You see what life without Ramsey has been.
It hasn't been Stephon Diggs notwithstanding, putting Cater Kohu in a locker, and taking his lunch money.
Well, luckily enough, you haven't really faced those type of receivers, but it's coming up very shortly.
Yes, I know, and that's why, like, you're going with your 2 toughest games of the season, and you want to have all hands on deck. It's just, now they're at a point they're not going to be all hands on deck, and then once they get after that, like, couple Jets games, Tennessee, Washington, Vegas. I mean, it really after this stretch here where you got Philly and KC doesn't really pick up again until you get to after Thanksgiving. So, you'll have Dallas. Who knows what they're going to be? Dallas, Baltimore, Buffalo. That's going to be like the last gauntlet of the season. See where they're at. But man, sucks, dude.
Now that's a tough break for you guys. That's a tough break for the Dolphins.
All right, take a quick break. Back after this.
I get what's happening. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that, like, there's so many other variables, like hand-to-hand combat when it comes to basketball and the intensity of football and then that intensity in the playoffs, that sometimes when you have a week off, you kind of start sluggish.
Hand-to-hand, or if you're Victor Wembanyama, apparently hand-to-head, because he apparently headbutt Chet Holmgren last night.
It's the only guy is his height.
That was amazing.
I've never seen 2 breadsticks go at each other like that. Wow.
Oh, man. We'll take a quick break. Welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you. Football season is here, so is our Dave & Buster's gift card giveaway. We've got your chance to win a $250 gift card from Dave & Buster's to watch college football, the NFL, and more. To enter, go online to WQAM.com. Go to the contest page, submit your entry, and if you win, you can go to Dave & Buster's with your gift card and watch your favorite team on us, Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch sports at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. If you guys are just tuning in right now, the Miami Dolphins, we have gotten the report from Adam Schefter. They are placing De'Von Achane on injured reserve. De'Von yesterday posted on Instagram, only the strong survive. I'll be back better than ever, but he is going to miss at least the next 4 games, which is a huge bummer. He is going to miss the Carolina game this week. This also involves Sunday Night Football against Philadelphia, the New England Patriots. I mean, I can't believe, they are.
You might have Bailey Zappi as your opposing quarterback.
I don't know. See, here's the thing that's interesting about it. If you're Bill Belichick, right, you're in this deep already. You know. I mean, he knows, right? Like, I know he wants to catch Shula, but he knows. Yeah, maybe you just Popovich did it. Just call it Pop. If you are Bill Belichick, just you call it Greg Popovich. You're like, hey, how did you do it? And Popovich is probably just like, you drink a lot of wine, and you just gear up for it.
Does Jim look like Belichick? Doesn't look like a wine guy.
I don't know. Maybe
but Pop is definitely
Pop's a wine guy.
5-6 bottles. Yeah.
And now he's got Wembanyama. He goes, listen, it's worth it. How many mediocre seasons you're gonna go through, Bill? So it's like, listen, just tank for Caleb Williams. Just do it. But they're sticking with Mac Jones, it sounds like, for right now, even though they've been outscored, I think, 72-3 over the last 2 weeks. Sheesh. It's embarrassing what's going on with them right now. Horrible. But anyway, Achane's on IR. He's going to go to IR, according to Adam Schefter. So he'll miss at Philadelphia, New England, at Kansas City, of course, this week against Carolina. But, at Philadelphia and in Germany against Kansas City. Those are definitely ones you want your best players for. That's going to be an interesting one, as the Dolphins are, been dealing with their fair share of injuries for sure. But the thing that they do, it's an embarrassment of riches they have with speed. It's crazy right now. And I was talking about this a little bit with TC in the first hour. It's just like, you don't even know how enjoyable it is to see every single week, to know I feel like I'm going to see something completely different this week. I don't know what it's going to be. Apparently, by the way, Tyreek Hill is claiming, and you got to take it with a grain of salt because it's Tyreek Hill. He tells whoppers. I don't want to call Tyreek Hill a liar.
Who's the biggest troller in South Florida? Tyreek or Jimmy Butler?
Dude, I think it's still got to be Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler will get into costume.
Tyreek wants to be in a porno. He wants to be a porn star.
Yeah.
Now he wants to win a gold medal in the Olympics.
But I don't
flag football.
I don't think Tyreek Hill will ever show. I don't think Tyreek's very. He likes wearing his cheetah stuff. He's. I don't think Tyreek Hill will show up. Like, for example, Vlad, I'm sitting there last night. Wifey and I are. We're sitting in bed. We're watching the preseason game, and halftime shows up, and they're doing a package on Jay Rich. Right, this beautiful package on Jay Rich, talking about his return and. So you have this montage of all these people talking about Jay Rich, and then Jimmy pops up. And of course, it's done on media day. So Jimmy's in full goth. And my wife just goes, "What the F?" I'm like, "That's emo Jimmy." She goes, but why? And my only answer to her was, because it's Jimmy Butler. Like, I don't have a good answer for you. He just is what he is. Like, I don't have a good answer for her. Why is he dressed like that?
That is the tough. That is the job. That's the part of the job when you're married and you cover sports, and then you're watching something like maybe the team that you're following or you're covering with the wife, and then the wife asks you a question that because you're around the team, know the team very well, and in trying to explain it to her, it may not sound sensible.
It's not sensible,
but
How do I explain to her?
Everybody else would understand.
Right.
The wife won't understand.
How do I explain to her this is an elaborate prank that he does? So the league is forced to have him dressed like emo for national TV games.
She's not gonna understand that.
She's not gonna understand
She's
it.
gonna be like, what would make him think that? Like, why would he do that? What was the thought process? She's gonna break things down, to the science when it's just, hey, he's just trolling. That's it. He's just a troll.
It was great, but it was like the first time you got to see the results of his trolling. I didn't see the very start of the game. I didn't see if Bally Sports put up his headshot. I know that NBA TV did, so it's working. It is working. They definitely did put up the headshot, but to see them have this beautiful montage of J Rich and Spo's like, we had this conversation and I knew he was going to be back, and Bam's like, it's great to have my best friend back. He keeps it so loose. And then just emo Jimmy's like, you got traded for me. He must be pretty good.
He's got emo. Now, so what would Cheetah do? Now, what was Cheetah saying now?
I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So Cheetah was saying, this is what he said. He said yesterday, NFL finding me more than 100K is classic NFL. And then he tweeted out minutes later, team no sock. Well, we know he got fined $7K for having no socks. I don't know what he got fined $100,000 for.
Did he do it again?
I don't remember.
Because if you're hashtagging team no sock, that would mean you did it again. And if you
$100,000, there's no way they fined you that much.
Excuse me, I fined you $7,000 and you repeat the offense again.
Don't they just double it?
No, I'm gonna make an example out of you. Because you're trying to make an example out of me.
Let me see. Tyreek Hill. I'm looking at pictures. Let me see from last game.
I'm just saying, I don't know if he did, but he's saying team no sock again and complaining about being fined $100,000. That to me would be you did that over again.
So when you say no sock, that means he's got to wear the socks all the way up, right? He's not really wearing socks. It looks like what he did was he wore like
footsies, like
knee sleeves. Like it's I'll throw this up there. It's kind of like, it's not a sock. It's like a knee, almost like a shooter sleeve, but he's got it on for his knee. It's not even like a knee. It's not even like a compression sleeve.
Dave South says he's wearing fake socks. They're not connected to his.
Yeah, they're not connected. It looks like he tried to pull a fast one on him.
Okay, I just got.
He's not wearing socks.
Unless you can tell me socks, but no socks give you more speed. It's kind of nasty not wearing socks playing that type of game.
Well, you could be a low socker. I don't know.
He said team no socks. If it was team low socks, I could understand.
Oh, he's got to be wearing some socks. You think he's just going complete barefoot?
I think he's going barefoot.
That's crazy talk. That is really gross. If he's, I'm sure he's never going to wear those spikes again, but that's really gross if he is doing that. But there's no way that, dude, $100,000, that has to be a Tyreek Hill whopper. 10,000 maybe. Maybe he had a typo of an extra zero. But $100,000 for not wearing socks? There's no way. There's got to be a
It's got to be 10. It's got to be 10. It's got to be 10.
There's got to be a cap on the socks. But he's going to do it like
he could be capping.
No cap?
He could be capping.
No, he caps all the time.
Okay, then. That's what I'm saying.
But that being said,
people are going to look at him like, come on, like you don't want to wear socks. You're playing in that heat, in that sun, that game, 3 hours of sweating.
Dude.
Even with a sleeve, these
are his shoes before the game. And those are like.
So are those the type of, like maybe he's wearing type of cleats that look like a sock on there?
I don't know. It looks like his ankles are taped. I don't think he is. And then I think he puts on those socks to make it seem like he's wearing socks. He's doing a sock okie doke. He's trying to trick him, but then like someone's gonna be like, "Hey man, those aren't socks."
If he's not wearing socks and he's running 22 miles per hour, you might not want to mess with that. I'm just saying. Maybe socks make him 21.8. Maybe no socks is that quick tick that he needs to.
It's a really silly thing, but let's be real about it. It's a silly thing. Like I get it with the NFL. They want their official gear, right? Oh, let's such and such. You want to buy Mike McDaniel's pullover? You want to buy this trucker cap that Tua's wearing? No one in their right mind is buying official NFL socks, are they? First of all, they're high socks. Are you playing with Messi? Like, what is the point of having these high socks? Why would I need those? So I can't imagine one person out there is buying one set of socks based on Tyreek Hill wearing or not wearing the socks, unless he was allowed to wear cheetah socks, which would be cool. But Tyreek Hill just wearing standard Dolphins aqua or white socks, no one's buying any socks based on him. He does not deserve to be fined over this. But he's also trying to pull a fast one on him.
Let me ask you this: that's a crazy job to be the guy walking around the field.
Yeah.
While all these guys are stretching balls.
Apparently, they're former players doing it.
Oh, they're former players that doing
Yeah.
it? Oh, okay.
Leroy was explaining this. He's like, they go and say, hey, you got to have this. You got to have this. You can't wear those shoes. Like, it is an actual job.
No, I know it's an actual job, but like, I'm thinking, like, is it? I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was an intangible guy just walking around. Just
I
like,
understand. You would imagine
around.
Bryant Hartline in charge of that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like it's that guy that's walking around and he has his little notepad pad and he's like, number 10, Miami Dolphins, no socks, fine. Like that type of thing. But if it's former players, then the current players should know.
Do you think that Tyreek Hill at one point had the socks? See, because these sleeves that he has on, do you think he had them all the way down, had the pants down a little lower, and then when the snitch, when the sock narc, once he was gone, then he fixed it how he wanted it?
Yeah, because there's no way that somebody's still on the field while the game's going on and still looking at what's going,
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Brian the sock guy is no longer out there doing sock police once the game starts. That would seem crazy.
That's crazy. So it has to be a guy waiting till maybe kickoff, maybe 5 minutes before kickoff, and then he goes back to his suite or whatever and watch the game from there. But you can't be telling me that he's watching Tyreek Hill from the minute he gets on the field throughout the whole game, looking to see if he has the proper uniform on. That's just it's not a cool job, by the way. Unless they're paying good six figures, then
But I'm with you. If it's working and he's got to keep doing it, then he's got to keep doing it.
What if he was doing it first week 1 and that was the big game, and then he stopped doing it week 2 and then he realized, all right, I'm going back to it, and ever since then he's had big games.
All right. Dade South, who's been my Twitter police lately, this is what he says. Tom Pelissaro has a tweet about it. He says, Dolphin star wide receiver Tyreek Hill, who tweeted Tuesday that the NFL fined him more than $100K, has been fined repeatedly this season for uniform policy violations, I'm told. The total is less than $100,000, but a significant amount. It isn't related to his TD celebration last week. The no socks look that has contributed to his repeated fines for Tyreek Hill. And then, of course, he throws up the cheetah.
So he's a repeat offender.
Yeah, he's not going to stop.
He's not going to stop. So then he
a lot
can't.
of money.
So I'm sorry. If you're not going to stop, you're going to continuously get fined. You got to understand that. I'm trying to cape for him, but they tell you no.
But like, if you're Tyreek Hill, can't you FaceTime Goodell and you're like, it's like we're quibbling. Like, why can't that be my thing? Why do I have to? Why do I need to have socks on?
I don't know if they want kids to start playing football with no socks on. I mean, Tyreek Hill's
he's got to have ankle socks on. I don't accept that he has no socks on.
I don't know if he has any socks on.
I know he's going to say, I have no socks on, because, again, he's a whopper teller. But I can't accept the fact that he has no socks on. Anyway, take a quick break. Get you caught up with your headlines, including an irate Erik Spoelstra. That's next. 1, 2, 3.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
Now, here's a little story I got to tell about three bad brothers you know so well. It started way back in history with that Rob and me. Mike
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 here on the show. Got Rats Off a Ship coming up later on this hour. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
I was just reading this really good interview and article on Jimmy Butler from Rohan Nadkarni from Sports Illustrated. Jimmy Butler is the guest editor for Sports Illustrated's NBA preview issue. And
wow.
Yeah, dude. First of all, the best part about this article thus far is Jimmy Butler. You know how he won the Larry Bird Trophy last year for Eastern Conference MVP?
Yeah.
He gave it to his dad. They both lost the trophy. They don't know where it is. And he doesn't care. So that trophy that Jason Tatum probably has in his living room.
They lost the Larry Bird Trophy.
Yep.
You know,
how could you lose Larry Bird's trophy?
Legend.
Remember how Jimmy was when Jimmy won the Eastern Conference? He's like, I don't want that. He doesn't want that trophy.
That's why they should have gave it to Caleb.
Oh yeah, Caleb would have loved it. He was asked about it. He says, not even accomplishing the Herculean task of taking a team from the play-in tournament to the finals can move Butler, who only could muster sarcasm when asked what that accomplishment says about him. He says, quote, it says I'm the greatest effing player to ever play the game, he said in his flattest tone. It doesn't say anything. It goes to show the type of guys Coach Pat and Coach Bo put around me. We put our heads down and battle. Says Pat Riley. Oh, this is Goosey's. Warriors don't live in the past. I love the Warrior mentality. It's all about now. Our future is really waiting for us. It's also, which is to no surprise in this article from Rohan. You guys should go check it out. I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but it's really, really good. Rohan usually gets a good stuff out of Jimmy every single year. But it's basically just saying Jimmy Butler is so competitive. He talked to his cousin, says Jimmy Butler is so competitive at cards or dominoes that he refuses to lose. And if he does lose, it's just rematches until he wins.
So he's basically when people were saying he was Michael Jordan's illegitimate child, it might be true because that's basically Jordan. That's very Jordan-esque in the fact that Jordan, you heard the stories that when Jordan would lose, he would not leave until he broke even or got all his money back or got a little bit of yours. I'll
read this one more extra. It's Butler's cousin Marquise Grayson says Butler has gotten so upset over losing games at dominoes that he insists on rematches until he wins, causing them to miss meals. Says they've played dominoes for 12 straight hours. Psycho.
Nah, I'm gonna tell him no. I would snuff him. I'm sorry.
Nah,
after a while, it's over. You know what? You're gonna eat that. You're gonna take that. I'm not waiting.
But
12
if you're
hours.
in the Jimmy Butler atmosphere, unless you're his teammate, Kyle Lowry says at one point in this, he goes, "It's a waste of time. Don't even it's a waste of time to just get because if you win,
now you know
you're not gonna win.
You know what you want. You know what you want.
Jimmy versus Leroy.
Exactly.
Of course.
Forget Bam. Now I'm sorry.
That's
I'm sorry, Bam. Now I wanted Leroy versus Bam, but hearing that.
That's good.
Jimmy. Could you imagine Leroy beating Jimmy for 3 hours and then Leroy 20 to get a meal and Jimmy's like, no? The battle between Jimmy and Leroy's stomach?
There's one thing I know. You're not withholding a meal from Leroy Horde.
But what if Jimmy Butler? I want to see this. This is it now. That's the matchup I want to see.
Here's the thing.
Leroy versus Jimmy.
You're not going to see, as much as I would say, Jimmy, you're not going to dictate terms to Leroy Horde.
I know that. That's what I'm saying. I
honestly think, you know what? It's probably for the best they don't do it.
No, it is not it's the best that they do it. Please.
So here's what I want to get to in headlines today, right now. This is Erik Spoelstra. So this GM poll comes out every single year. They poll the GMs and they ask them a bunch of questions, right? Who do you think is going to win the finals? Of course, the Celtics. The Celtics, Nuggets, they tied. The Heat even a thought? No, of course not. Whatever. But it's not, I wasn't expecting anything who's going to be the MVP. I didn't expect to see Jimmy Butler there. Jokic, excuse me. It deserves to be there. All that. Jokic will be there. Oh, man, I love watching him play. It's just
you love to look at you.
I was enjoying it.
This is like the first day of school for you, isn't it?
It was great yesterday, dude. And let me tell you something about Jaime Jaquez. Dude's a vibe. He is. There's just something about him. Like, you just watch him play. He's just got a coolness to him that's just like, it's like you're at ease watching Jaime Jaquez play ball. It's at his own pace. He's got his footwork. Do you have the thing on his footwork? Because I was like listening to him talk about this in the locker room. He was talking, Ira was asking about his footwork, which was just marvelous yesterday. But I watched this Jaime Jaquez play, and it's true. He doesn't play like a rookie, but he also just has there's just a flow to him, dude. It's like a flow state. He's like Bruce Lee out there. Here's Jaime Jaquez on his footwork.
Man, I think that goes back to my park days. Just watching them on guys like that on the low post, on the elbows, and just really trying to go to the park and put that into my game. So it started at a really young age, and just watch the way they move. I think imitation is like a really great way of learning. And so I just watch them and then just try to copy it, honestly. So yeah, that's what I did.
There you go. He was awesome yesterday. It was very, very impressive. So anyway, so they do these polls, who's the best at this, who's the best small forward, who's the best center. Nikola Jokic, by the way, got 93% of the vote. Has to drive Joel Embiid crazy. But understandable. Listen, he was awesome. Yes, he was awesome last year. Doesn't care that he was awesome, by the way. That guy just wants to go be with his horses. Saw a video from him from Media Day where he was asked, what's changed about your life? And he goes, nothing. Nothing has changed. He's just Joker living his life. So the big thing, though, is they basically ask about best defenders, okay? Best defenders in the league. And here's what they put. Number 1, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 40%.
I'm not upset with that. You can't be upset with that. I mean, that's 6'11" of just arms and athleticism.
I'm going to give you the whole results, and I'll tell you why I quibble with the Greek Freak, okay? Even though he's, I know he's had the hardware before. It annoys me. And by the way, by his own admission as to why it annoys me with him, because, and maybe this was Budenholzer, I don't know. But whatever. He was put as best defensive player. Number 2, Drew Holiday. Okay, dude. Look, I think Drew Holiday is really good too.
Not after that 56 Jimmy.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I love Drew Holiday too. Who doesn't like Drew Holiday, right? But Jimmy Butler tortured that man all series, and the gentleman swept him. So whatever. Tied for 3rd is Draymond Green, who I don't understand why he's so far behind Giannis. I honestly think Draymond deserves to be higher on this list than Giannis does. But he's 3rd. Tied for 3rd, Marcus Smart, your deep boy from last year, which was a team award. And by the way, they valued it so much they told him to take a hike in 2 years. Number 4, the reigning defensive player of the year, Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, Bam is better than him.
Number 4, also a guy who barely is on the court. Maybe you've heard of him, Kawhi Leonard.
Wait, they still have Kawhi? No, wait,
tied for 4th.
So
this is just best defensive player. So he's not even in their top 4. Let's just say it's top 6 that they have there. Okay, no, they're top 6. Okay. Others receiving votes, Vlad. Alex Caruso, Anthony Davis, Lou Dort, and Rudy Gobert, who apparently has fallen so out of grace. Rudy Gobert, who does he have 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards, Rudy, or does he have 2? Either way, he's on the others receiving votes. Last year, they gave it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay. If you'll notice, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players. They do not mention in the top 10 players, not a top 10 defender. They do not have Bam Adebayo, which to me is mother bleeping effing lunacy that this guy is not thought of by the general managers of this league to be a top 10 defenders. I'm not even making I'm going to make the argument that he's the best, but I'm not even asking for you guys, you jackasses, to come out here and say he's a top 5 defender. You didn't have him in others receiving votes? Are you kidding me? How this man, year in and year out, gets disrespected like this for what he does on that end of the court is crazy to me. But here's Erik Spoelstra. This was him before the game because they were asking him a nice question, because the only person who really got positive reports on this, Vlad, on the GM polls was Erik Spoelstra on the coaching aspect. He basically swept every category. Who is the best head coach? Erik Spoelstra. Who is the best manager motivator? Erik Spoelstra. Who is the best in-game manager? Erik Spoelstra. Who is the best offense? That was the only one he didn't win. Best defense? Erik Spoelstra. So
wait. Hold on. I'm not a genius, but if the coach of the best defense, meaning that he sets forth the best defensive game plan,
correct,
right?
Yes.
So if he has the best defense, that would mean the players that he have,
one would think,
to execute the game plan for his great defense would be great as well. Correct?
You would think.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
One would think, Vlad.
I'm not.
Here's another thing that's weird about this.
I'm not a genius, like I said.
This is another thing that's weird about Bam Adebayo, right? Okay. And here's another thing. Here's one thing that's really stupid, okay? They have best defensive team in the NBA, Boston Celtics. Now, they've just traded their best two defenders in Marcus Smart and Rob Williams. Like, you get Drew Holiday, okay. Again, cooked by Jimmy Butler. And really, I think that should really just be on the back of his jersey. That should be his name instead of Holiday. It should say, cooked by Jimmy Butler. That's what it should say. But whatever. Under most versatile defender, they have Giannis number 1, Draymond number 2, Bam number 3.
So it's a lot.
How are you the most versatile defender and you're not a top 10 defender?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense.
So here's why, and we're gonna play what. Let's play Spo.
Let's play Spo, and then we'll get into this.
No, TD mentioned that on the walk, and my first question was, where was Bam? And on the defensive surveys, that one's just unbelievable to me. I think Bam is the best defensive player in the league, and I just can't understand why he's not recognized for how impactful he is on that end of the court. So he's just going to have to prove it again, and just do it this year until everybody notices. I think that's a good award to go for. A lot of the awards, I think, potentially, could get in the way of winning. I think that one's a great one, and I don't think he's going to take himself out of anything. I think he just has to be who he is, do what he does, and just be that dynamic force on that end of the court. And then I think, he's going to get recognized for that, and hopefully we'll have a great defense this year, and he leads us, on that end of the court.
When it's guys like us doing the voting at the end of the year.
There you go. All right, so I don't know, man. I'm with Erik Spoelstra. I don't understand. And here's the thing with Giannis. Okay, Giannis is, a force. He's obviously got wingspan. He's a great help defender. Every single one of these series, this mother bleeper is asked by the media, "Hey, Giannis, ever going to step in front of Jimmy Butler? Ever? Nah, coach won't do it." Huh? I don't understand it.
I mean,
so let me get this straight. Bam will sit there with the likes of Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He'll step with the best players in the league. But Giannis, I'll just roll back here, get my little blocks, my little blocky blocks. But it's Drew who's got to stay in front of him. It's never Giannis. So whatever, dude. I just think it's the political ways of these awards and how they've gone and these poll results and all this stuff. I would expect a little bit more out of the general managers, but maybe I shouldn't.
I can't believe him. I have to 100% agree with you, man.
It's crazy.
No, this is where I can understand where the Heat culture and the fan base get upset with the disrespect, because the logic doesn't make sense.
He's never been first team all defense. I don't understand it.
But he's been considered by everybody secretly. That's a thing. They don't want to say it publicly. It's all secretly that Bam is one of the best big man defenders who can guard 1 to 5.
Everybody.
He doesn't get in foul trouble like Jaren Jackson. That's what I didn't understand about Jaren Jackson winning Defensive Player of the Year last year, because he only played 25 minutes. It's not good if you're missing the other 23.
Dude, he can't stay out of foul trouble. Couldn't do it for FIBA. Bam Adebayo, on a world stage,
he did.
Anchors gold medal.
So
Jaren Jackson, Latvia beat him.
And anchored 2 NBA Finals team.
Yep.
And over the last 3 seasons.
Has one of the most iconic blocks of all time, stopping Jason Tatum at the apex. So you know he can do that too.
That is one of those blocks, top 5 blocks
like,
of all
I don't get it. I don't get it.
And the other thing I don't get is the accolades and still reverence that they have for these Boston and Milwaukee teams, because to me now that's a smack in the Heat's face, because if you're putting Drew Holiday as a top 3 defender, he was number 2, right? You had him. Was he number 2?
He was number 2. Number 2.
And he got 56 put on him by Jimmy.
Cooked.
Giannis got cooked by the whole Heat.
Yep. Splash Mountain.
Boston got cooked by the Heat.
Go look at all the jumpers that Bam put in Splash Mountain's face to close out that series, and how he was at the top of the key, carving these dudes up, running that offense.
Marcus Smart wasn't stopping no Jimmy Butler last in the playoffs.
Nope. If anything, I'd say probably maybe the best guy was Derek White.
Derek White and
Grant Williams.
Actually, Grant Williams is the only one that showed he had a little.
Until he poked the bear.
Well, he did poke the bear, but you know what? At least he showed that he was willing to poke the bear, because none of those guys wanted to mess with Jimmy.
I mean,
I'm sorry, and Draymond. Yeah. That's just a lot of name. That's like a lot of name recognition.
I think Draymond still deserves it, because he's like, listen, that guy's had to anchor with those 2
that is true
sharpshooters all over the place. I'll take Draymond, because I know Draymond does a lot of the Bam stuff. I think that he's probably as good a comparison as it gets to, and he's obviously been the anchor for champions and a dynasty.
Older, and I've seen him get cooked by guys.
Yeah.
I've seen so I like to me the name. It's a lot of name recognition, not a reverence to what they used to do in yesteryear, because there's no freaking way that Kawhi Leonard should be ahead of Bam Adebayo.
Get on the court.
He has to be on the court in the first place. And guess what? People are going after Kawhi and Paul George.
I get it, dude. Listen, Kawhi Leonard, we all know the meme of LeBron when he saw him check in and he goes, oh, mother effer. I get it. That was 10 years ago. Anyway.
No, I agree with you, man. That's just a lack of disrespect, man. I mean, a lack of respect. That's just
slap in the face.
It's a slap in the face. Yeah.
It's a slap in the face to Bam.
They don't realize it. This is what they need. You guys are actually stop disrespecting the Heat. How about this, fans? Media, stop disrespecting the Heat, because when you disrespect them, you give them the motivation for them to go on these crazy runs that they go on, and then you all wonder why they go on it. Stop. Hey, see me, you know what I'm doing this year? I'm going to be nice. I'm just going to say it's the Heat, because it is the Heat. Don't disrespect the coach, best coach in the game, who has the best defense, but yet he doesn't have one of the best defensive players. That just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Do you want to know how crazy? Like they got like Evan Mobley as like best interior defender. You know, Evan Mobley was saying, "I'm watching film of
Evan
Bam."
Mobley was getting his ass kicked by the New York Knicks in the playoffs.
Evan Mobley got more respect last year on these votes than Bam did, and he's sitting here saying, "I'm watching Bam film. I'm trying to be like him."
Julius had his best series against Evan Mobley, and Julius Randle is horrible in the playoffs.
He's trying to learn from Bam. And they're trying, and they're sitting here like, oh, second team Bam, attaboy. That's enough of a rant on this. 15 minutes of Game Day Uncensored. That's next.
The Dolphins are back on the field today, getting ready for Carolina this Sunday.
time for South Florida Lexus dealers' 15 minutes of game day uncensored.
Let's go! Sponsored by South Florida Lexus Dealers. Experienced amazing.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Streaming live on YouTube and Twitch. Our channel, Miami 560 WQAM. Video produced by The Birderer. Hello, Jennifer.
Hello.
What did you think last night of Cole Swider?
He's good.
He's good, dude. He's good. He's good.
Why did she take like? She looked like she was taking a swig or something when she was like, "He's good.
He's good."
Like I had to get into Tobin character. Yeah.
He's good. That guy. He's good. Jaime Jaquez, good. I didn't know, by the way. I was like, where the hell is Nikola Jovic yesterday? And apparently he got his knee banged up. Nothing serious, but that's why he didn't play in the second half. I was like, where the hell is Jovic? No Jovic playing time. Who's in there? So we'll get back into the Heat. That's my guy right there. By the way, if you guys love country music, Stars and Strings, a great night of country music, is coming to Hard Rock Live on November 1st. Had TC in studio earlier from 99.9 Kiss Country and talked a little bit about this concert. Talked a little bit about Jimmy Butler. He had some insight on Jimmy Butler's.
That was a really good interview.
Yeah, he had. He was letting us know Jimmy's got a huge country album coming out, but gave us the deets on it. Some of the guys who are on that album, and if you guys missed that, that is up on our YouTube page, Miami 560 WQAM. But if you text the word country to 20357, that's country to 20357, you guys could win a pair of tickets to Stars and Strings. Tickets are available now at starsandstrings.com. If you guys tuning in for the Dolphins, big news of the day is regarding De'Von Achane. Reported earlier that he is going to go on injured reserve, so he is going to miss at least the next 4 games with the Miami Dolphins, which includes Carolina, Sunday Night Football in Philadelphia, the Patriots at home, and then in Germany, the Chiefs. Then they have a bye, and he can come back for Week 11 against the Raiders. So a little bit of a bummer. Are you upset about De'Von Achane being out for the next 4, J-Fig?
Yeah, we were just seeing record numbers from him, and now we have to wait.
I know.
And it's very sad. And I know we have a great team, but it was so good. It was so fun to watch.
You got Mostert, guys. You still have Mostert.
I know, and I appreciate Mostert.
By the way, I have Mostert on my fantasy team. That's why.
So now you're happy.
That's why you're backing him down there.
Because look, it was a timeshare. Now he's got the whole house.
He's look, Mostert has been a good role model for De'Von Achane, but there's no way that he's not feeling us. Like, oh, yes, chance to put up some bigger numbers now. So we'll see with Raheem. But the other thing that was cool, the Dolphins announced, and Mike McDaniel's going to address this. I think at like 1:00 is when he speaks today. So we'll find out what the Dolphins head coach has to say about this. But the other big piece of news, the Dolphins announced yesterday, they are honoring Zach Thomas this week at the Carolina Panthers game.
All right.
Which is cool. Zach Thomas, of course, going in the Hall of Fame. I will say, I almost feel like, I feel like you should save this for like a prime timer, like I don't know about doing it Carolina at 1:00. It just feels a little bit lackluster,
No, Tobin. It actually makes more sense.
Yeah.
Tell us why.
Because Carolina, this might not be the game that most people would want to go see the Dolphins, thinking it would be a blowout.
Do you think that's a thing now, though, with this team, Vlad? Like, there's such a show.
Yeah, I think they look for the team, the game that maybe fans will think, I can miss this one.
That's interesting. I don't feel like if I was a Dolphins season ticket holder right now, I would be so fired up every single game, no matter what. But I don't know. I feel like, like they did Boomer Esiason and they did Chad Ochocinco winning the Ring of Honor. They did it when they're on Monday Night Football.
But that was also, I believe, the Bengals' first home game of the season. So you have that. You're going to get look what they did with Brady. Remember, Brady was supposed to be Sunday night.
I know.
His retirement.
That's
then they
true.
moved it to the first game because they know the fans are going to be there. Your first game of the season was against Denver, right? The fans are going to come out for the home opener.
For sure.
Giants, that's a big, New York City's going to come out. Carolina? Who's gonna come out for Carolina?
But like Monday Night Football, you don't do it even like Monday Night Football against the Titans. I would have done it then.
I mean, it's Monday Night Football. They're gonna come out, and then maybe ESPN doesn't want an extended halftime presentation.
Perhaps,
because it's a televised game, so you could do it during the not national game, which will be the Fins in Carolina. I just think they do it because they figure they're not going to get that many people coming out to that game. So you do it, and then people definitely come out.
I think, look, I got the Goosies. It's going to be great no matter what. But I just, I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, that's kind of like lad. They're just dropping that on everybody. But he will be honored. So congrats to Zach Thomas. That was a really great speech that he gave at Canton this year. And so we're looking forward to that one for sure. So one thing we know about Zach Thomas, never rats off a ship. However, the rest of us, we'll decide that coming up next.
I'm
Rats off a ship.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Before we get to Rats Off a Ship, our favorite Wednesday game, I want to let you guys know we got your chance to win tickets to the NASCAR Cup Series playoff at Homestead, Miami Speedway. It is October 21st and 22nd. Easy to enter. Just go to WQM.com/contest. If you like, you can purchase tickets at HomesteadMiamiSpeedway.com. JFig, what do we have today for Rats Off a Ship?
All right, number 1, Dillon Brooks. He was ejected for a low blow.
Did you see this, Vlad?
Yeah, I did.
I'm Rats Off a Ship on Dillon Brooks, dude. First of all, it's the preseason. All right, you can't be Dillon Brooksing out there in the preseason. You know, you got to save some of your bullets. You got to save some of your Draymond moves. You got to save that stuff for the regular season. And you know what? I was kind of happy for Dillon Brooks. Everybody kind of ousted him. They said, "Oh, you're going to go play in Shanghai. You're not going to be in the NBA." He gets the bag. He gets $80 million from the damn Houston Rockets. And his first game out there in the preseason, he's hitting Daniel Tyson in the boys. Rats off a ship on Dillon Brooks. What about you, J Fig?
I'm Rats Off a Ship. Come on,
man. Come on, man. Can't be doing that, Vlad.
I've been Rats Off a Ship on him, man. I don't know how he got $21 million from Houston, and then now he's just going there and just, using somebody's lower region as a punching bag. That's not good.
No,
that's not good.
Not good.
No, he's got to stop that. And then he wonders why he has a bad stigma on him.
He can't. I mean, he is probably the NBA's best bad guy right now, but I don't get it, dude. That's crazy to me. Number 2, J Fig.
Couples costumes for Halloween. Apparently, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce costumes have sold out. Where are they even selling this?
I'm sure Spirit Halloween. I'm sure Party City. That's gonna be a super popular costume this year. And I gotta tell you something. If I go to a party and I see you dressed as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, all right, great. You keep up with current events. We get it, dude.
I mean, listen. The intangibles, what they're gonna do? Shave their beard and just have the mustache, just have the Mountie or State Patrol mustache.
Yeah,
that's basically it. And then what are you gonna do as a Swiftie? Like, what
dress like one of her eras, I guess.
In a guitar, I don't know. You have her scarf that Jake Gyllenhaal stole. I don't know. Who knows, dude?
You can't wear that because she doesn't have it.
Fair point. Listen, you know it all too well.
That's just weird.
The 10-minute
version. I'm not Rats Off a Ship on couple costumes because if Mrs. Tobin makes me do a couple's costume, I'll do it. We've only done that once. We did Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf.
Aww.
And that was basically, I just got to put on a wolf mask. Very easy costume. I'm not a big Halloweener. I don't like getting at Halloween all the time.
They call that role play, Tobin.
Okay.
I don't think it was a sheer costume.
Didn't think about it like that, Vlad.
It was more like role play.
But I can't say I'm Rats Off a Ship because if the missus wants to do it, I'll do it. But it's not something we do commonly. Usually Halloween's become more of a do it for the kids type of thing. What about you, J Fig?
I mean, I'm Rats Off a Ship just because I really don't have a reason to do that. But I mean, go for it.
What about all the people hounding you on your Instagram Q&As?
No.
What if couple costume could be whoever the significant other in the future would be, J Fig? You go as you, they go as Washington.
Rats off a ship.
Vlad?
I would not be okay.
Yeah, I'm Rats Off a Ship on that, man. Come on, man. That's not the couple costume you want to wear. That's craziness. No, man.
Technically, it hasn't even been confirmed, but it's there.
And then what's she gonna wear? She's gonna wear what? A Kansas City jacket, a logo athletic jacket, like a Nike jacket.
Yeah.
That's all Taylor Swift's been wearing. It's just been like some type of Kansas City Chiefs memorabilia.
Well, she did that once. Okay, the other time she just wore black.
a 3-hour Taylor Swift concert movie I gotta go to this weekend.
Are you going to the movie?
Oh,
You're
my
gonna
God.
enjoy it. Okay.
I know she puts on like 3 hours though, J-Fig.
I don't know about you,
It's
Tobin.
fine.
On a
Just
stream?
pretend you're
Tobin,
watching
yeah,
Harry
take anything,
Potter.
Tobin, I know you might have to take something, Tobin. That's 3 hours.
It's a long time, dude.
Well,
Plus-
movie theaters now have alcohol, so have fun.
That's true. That's true. The one of actually all of them do. Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
around me, the Little Lake Worth Theater does. The Phoenix, all of them sell at least beer now. What's number 3, J-Fig?
LeBron owning NBA team in Las Vegas. Shaq also says he wants sole ownership of Vegas team.
I'm not rats off a ship on LeBron owning a team. It seems very obvious. The dude's a gazillionaire. Especially with Michael Jordan now getting out for $3 billion. LeBron's gonna own a team. But I found it interesting that Shaq says that he wants sole ownership of the team. He doesn't want to be in the group. Shaq wants to own the team by himself.
Wasn't Shaq part owner of the Sacramento Kings?
He did have. So you're not wrong, Vlad. He did own a piece of the Sacramento Kings. Now he wants the whole kit and caboodle. Do you think that he'd make an exception if he was to go into business with LeBron, a LeBron Shaq team, or that's too many cooks?
That's too many cooks.
You're
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
too
two.
many
I mean, like
One's
look,
a king, the other guy hangs out with the general. It's a lot. That's it's a lot
'cause
going on.
Shaq has to be raking it in. How many commercials? He's in every commercial.
Fam, he sells sneakers in Walmart.
Yeah, I mean that was just a nice thing for him to do.
I'm just saying, people go to Walmart a lot.
He was
They
being
do.
humble.
I'm not rats off a ship though. I think he's probably going to end up owning a team in Vegas. What about you, J-Fig?
I'm not rats off a ship, but if Shaq wants sole ownership, he's gonna get it.
No, he's not. Not if LeBron wants it. I'm not rats off
Mm.
the ship on LeBron and Clutch Group owning an
I
NBA team.
I also saw that Shaq says that he wants to own a team in Florida, but he said in the article, he goes, I know Mickey Harrison's not selling, so
what is-
he wants to own the Magic.
Well, what? That was the only team he should be thinking about owning. He was drafted by them. He's their first biggest superstar. So
Him owning the Magic would be cool.
yeah,
Him
and he
owning the
still
Magic
lives
would
in
be cool.
Orlando. Still,
That
so.
would be cool. But
yeah,
yeah,
Bron. I don't have a
Vlad,
problem. I don't
you
have
have
a
a
problem
problem?
with Bron owning a team in Vegas. First of all, that would make you already know once Vegas gets a team, Tobin, it's going to be.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Oh.
Vegas is such a cool town, man. It's such a cool town for sports. They deserve everything. And like, dude, they have like the setup to get to Raiders games is like so easy. It's just how they haven't had sports. I get it for the whole gambling, but like it's such an event town, like perfect. Number 4, J-Fig.
And that dome situation will be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4, the Hornets wouldn't stop punching Miami Heat players.
Rats off a ship on the Hornets. They were mauling the Heat yesterday. You hit Tyler Herro's nose. You hit Jay Rich's face.
-1.
LaMelo Ball's a fun player. I do like watching him play basketball because he's like a wild card. You never know what he's going to do.
He's not complete. Whatever the coach said, he's not doing it.
Nah.
He's doing his own thing.
People really like LaMelo Ball's shoes too. It's like I noticed when my son was playing basketball, all the kids are wearing LaMelos.
Really?
They love his shoes.
Maybe it's comfortable for the kids.
I don't know. They're cool looking. They're all like neon and stuff, and they got like these like little wings on them. People love LaMelo Ball
Kids
shoes.
love wings, man.
Love wings.
They love.
But as far as the Hornets, just in general, rats off a ship.
Rats off a ship.
Oh, who cares? Rats off
Rats off a ship.
a ship. J-Fig?
I agree. I'm rats off a ship. Also, don't touch my players like that.
Yep.
Bloody
ADHD.
nose.
I'm rats off a ship on that because I don't like what's going on. First game that UD doesn't play, cats are thinking they could just start smacking the Heat players around.
Enforcer.
They weren't doing that when UD was on the bench. That's why I asked you the question earlier in the show. Who's the guy now?
I mean, he's gonna be there eventually. Like he's gonna have some word today. He's just gonna have to whoop ass in a suit.
But that's the thing. It's different when he's in a suit and in a uniform. In uniform, that means he has the right to come on the court and beat you up. In a suit, he doesn't have that.
I like
right.
the idea of UD handing the jacket over, and he looks like a Peaky Blinder because he starts rolling up the sleeves. So he's gonna have the vest underneath, and he's gonna be like, "Zoe, hold this."
That's the thing. He's totally gonna be an enforcer of the mob. Like,
of course,
that's been his role. But now He's gonna be wearing the clothes. He's
Yep.
gonna have the fit to go with the job
It's gonna look great.
description.
I love the
wait
fact
to
that
see
I love the fact that he's doing TV work. He's gonna be amazing in media if he wants to. I mean, look, he's gonna be good no matter what he wants to do. But if he does get into media, if you could bounce any of these like former Celtics or Cavaliers off the desk immediately, whether it be Perk or
I like
Richard
Perk, man.
Jefferson,
He's
or
a bumpkin.
like just get UD on there. That dude's gonna bring the realest perspective there.
Yeah, but
is.
whatever UD says might intimidate the host. Could you see Malika Andrews just shaking in a like, oh my god, like because UD's gonna say some real stuff.
I don't know. Maybe just I see. I think I go by my suggestion yesterday. He needs to team up with Gogi for a podcast.
I thought about it. You had a good idea to me.
I think that needs to happen, dude. What else we got, J Fig? What's our final topic for Rats Up a Ship?
Tommy Fury versus KSI. They fight this weekend.
You said yesterday you were rats off a ship.
Rats off a ship.
Yeah.
I'm rats off a ship. I'm rats off a ship on KSI and Tommy Fury. Although Tommy Fury looks in incredible shape for this bout. The thing with Tommy Fury is like he cried when he beat Jake Paul, like he won the world championship.
You're
and
still not over that. You have held that over his head.
His
ever
brother is the
since.
heavyweight champion.
Exactly. He won something of note. Tobin, can you imagine if your brother is Tyson Fury, the best heavyweight over in the
He was
last
also
2 years?
emotional from like having a
Listen,
baby.
His brother's the best fighter in the world. You're handsome. Like
You're
But
handsome.
I like
That's
to,
it.
I
That's
like
all you
people
have.
to know that I can fight. I got some skills. I'm
He doesn't-
smart.
he doesn't-
Not like the others.
He doesn't need to fight.
I mean, in all defense, it was what, Jake Paul. So.
You make Tommy sound like he's Fredo.
I don't even know who KSI is. I know he's a YouTuber, but I've never seen any of his work. I don't know what. I know he's big in England, but like I don't know what the whole KSI phenomenon is, so I don't care about this. It's weird to me. So I'm rats off a ship. What about you, J Fig?
I don't really care about YouTubers. Sorry, not sorry, but
Yeah, I
no.
understand.
Also, I haven't really caught up that much with Tommy Fury, so I'm rats off a ship.
Dade South says he got the Goosies from Fury France Ngannou. That was a good promo. Did you guys see what happened with France Ngannou?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna get us this video during the break. Francis Ngannou, he's a strong man,
Wow.
and so like he goes up to a convenience store, and one thing you always got to worry when you go in a convenience store, Vlad, pull push. What do? Well, he pulled instead of pushed, and he broke the windows on the entire door.
Did you not see that it said pull?
He's like the whole
A jar? Like he didn't see nothing. He didn't see nothing that said for
Francis smash. That's what he does. Anyway, are you rats off a ship or are you into this fight this weekend?
No, I'm rats off a ship. But
Yeah.
I just don't want. I feel bad for Tommy when you're the little brother of somebody who's famous or just best at what they do. The little wins that you can get, go for it, man. Be happy for yourself.
We'll take a quick break. David Dwork's going to join us next hour. We will talk a little Panthers. We're on the eve of the Panthers season. Gets going tomorrow, so we'll talk to our favorite Panthers insider coming on up. We also, speaking of fighting, it appears our own friend of the show, Gilbert Burns, is maybe hinting at. There was some big fight news yesterday. I got to react to this. Yesterday with UFC 294, but there may be even more changes to the card coming, and Gilbert Burns may have leaked it. That's next.
WQAM.
Smalls is the illest. What? Stinky Smalls is the illest. Stinky Smalls is the illest. Yeah. Stinky Smalls is the illest. Live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, son, the livest one. Representing BK to the fullest.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Take you up until 2 o'clock here on the program. Let's get to some headlines brought to you by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Supercenter. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford.
We know trucks.
Man. So Miami Hurricanes definitely looking to turn the page on last week's debacle that happened against Georgia Tech. This is Mario Cristobal. If you got this Vlad Hurricanes head coach, obviously going into a tough place to play in Chapel Hill and a team that has had a lot of success against Miami. It's been quite frustrating.
I think Javonte Williams is still running.
Quite frustrating with some of the losses they've had against North Carolina for sure. This is Mario Cristobal on what they're up against.
They've assembled an unbelievable roster. You know, recruiting has really taken shape there because you look at them from top to bottom. They're talent laden at all positions. They're big and powerful up front. It showed in the first game of the year. I believe they had 9 sacks against South Carolina. They're explosive out on the perimeter. Their backfield is dynamic. Their quarterback is dynamic. They've got a lot of NFL prospects on there, and they play well. They play hard. They play with toughness. They're physical. Just an excellent football team. You know, they're about as talented as a roster as you'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like obviously, have one of their top prospects there, in Drake May. Everybody's fawning over, and you know, they've had the Canes number now. I think 5 straight seasons. And some of them have just been real throttlings. I mean, when it was Mac Jones versus Manny Diaz, it was like, but I do think this is a very important one for Mario, just because it was such a crusher to so many in the fan base. You're getting laughed at, but this is definitely the one where you get this one, you can erase a lot of that if you are able to turn the page that way. Not saying it's going to be easy, because I think that this was probably like the first one you looked at the schedule. You're like, well, that's going to be the real test. Like, where are they at? A little bit of that with Texas A&M, and they say Mac Jones, stunt Steve. I met Matt Brown. He's been their daddy. But this was the first one I think I looked at when the schedule came out. I was like, that's going to be, let's see where they're at. And now it's coming off of the most adversity you're facing just from within, because yeah, everyone's laughing at you. You had this embarrassing loss, and you had a game that you were going to pull out with a victory. Could have kept it undefeated. You didn't. So now you have your first loss to your resume. Do you keep this, and do you nip it in the bud right away? That's going to be the interesting thing to look out for with that. So definitely looking forward to that game coming up 7:30 on Saturday, and our coverage here will begin at 4:30. No, 3:30 will be our pregame show.
What's the cover? What time's the game?
7:30.
Yes.
3:30.
Pregame is at 3:30, and you'll be able. And pregame is at noon
with you guys.
Sports Day with Dan Day and Vlad Blueson.
There you go. And before that, Heat Weekly.
And
with
before that, Heat Weekly and
Tommy
Panther
Tag.
Insider.
There you go. We got we got a packed Saturday for you, and then Game Day Uncensored gets going.
Day Uncensored.
9 a.m. on Sunday, people. All right. So we got a lot of stuff coming up for you this weekend here on 560 WQAM.
I have a question. Do you know what you're doing in 2 weeks? I mean, do you know what you're doing in a month?
With the Chiefs game?
Yeah.
So we're getting up at 5:30.
Yeah, you guys are really doing a 5:30.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before, dude. I've done morning drive before, so I'll be ready to go. I will be ready to go. Meanwhile, Miami Heat, they get the win last night in their preseason opener. Tyler Herro led the team in scoring. Here's to Erik Spoelstra on Herro's performance yesterday.
He's just explosive. He had that easily could have been, 14 makes. He had a lot that went in and out, and he just does it in a fashion that he makes it look kind of easy, and it's not easy, to score in this league against some of the best defenses. And Steve obviously does a great job, with team defense, and you're not going to just face it like them and a team that's making a bunch of mistakes. So he's able to get to places because of his skill level. He gets players off balance because of his range and his skill and all of those things. And it's just, it's a blessing to be able to have him back, and feeling great and had a terrific summer. And I think this is only going to get better.
He was, he was really good yesterday, especially taking a shot to the face with Steve Clifford's apparent defensive system is hit the Heat in the face. That was his system yesterday. But Tyler was hitting his spots. Definitely, like he said, had some more opportunities from three, so could have even been more explosive when you think about the minutes that he played. And it was a nice performance from him yesterday. Bam, super efficient in like his 15 minutes of work. The show yesterday was Jaime Jaquez, was Cole Swider, Thomas Bryant, even J. Rich. I thought J. Rich did a little bit of everything. Haywood Highsmith was, stripping dudes like crazy. It was a nice all around game. I think he had a lot of good stuff. The Heat practicing, probably just wrapping up right now. So they'll get ready. They're back on the court on Friday in San Antonio. That's when we'll be back at it. So I want to get to this. This was the big news yesterday. So this was dropping yesterday after the Heat game. Dana White comes out, and there's a lot of rumors around the MMA Twitter sphere yesterday that there was going to be a little change to the main event. Coming up next week was supposed to be UFC 294 rematch, Islam Makhachev against Charles "Do Bronx" Oliveira for the lightweight strap. And the last time these guys fought, Islam like a buzzsaw through Charles Oliveira. Now, Oliveira, could he bounce back? Certainly. Guy's been through some adversity in his career before, has gone to get, as many finishes and bonuses and won the championship. He outstruck the likes of Poirier and Michael Chandler. The guy's an absolute monster. So could he have a better performance against Islam Makhachev? Yeah, it's possible. I don't think so, but MMA guys bounce back. It's a crazy sport. It's a crazy sport, dude. And news started circulating yesterday that Do Bronx was out. No Oliveira. I was like, what? That's crazy. But the crazier part is stepping in the featherweight champion, Alexander Volkanovski, which I'm just like, so we do have now a better rematch because Dana White confirmed it yesterday after the Tuesday Night Contender Series. A better rematch coming up on 11 days' notice. Alexander Volkanovski is stepping in to take on Islam Makhachev. And the last time these guys faced off, it was close. Makhachev ended up getting the decision, but a lot of people thought Volkanovski deserved the win. He could not get his arms around his neck. He could not find the submission around him. And then Volkanovski ended that fight on top. He was pummeling Islam by the end of that matchup. So now he's stepping in again, 11 days notice to go save the main event next week. I can't wait. I got the goosies from this. This is unbelievable. So we ended up with even a more competitive fight, it seems like, on 11 days, with the caveat, dude is stepping in on 11 days notice, which is tough because you haven't had a training camp. I don't know what he's been doing training-wise. I'm sure we'll get some more info on that with Volk, but I can't believe that, dude. I got the absolute goosies galore when that happened. But then there was some more news that popped up because on the same card, this was supposed to be Khamzat Chimaev's return, and he was going to take on Paulo Costa, who, I don't know if you guys have seen Paulo Costa. Guy looks like a model, but an MMA fighter. Incredible.
Is that the one that lost to
Stylebender?
Yeah.
Yeah, he lost to Stylebender.
Yeah, that's the one that was talking a lot of trash to Stylebender and Stylebender.
Then he said that he fought the fight. There was some weird stuff where he's like, I was drunk the night before.
Okay, yeah, that's him.
So for whatever reason, this guy was out here and he was like, oh, he just mentioned casually, oh, I just had surgery. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Don't you have a fight coming up in like a couple weeks? He goes, nah, it's all good. We're going to fight. But Dana White yesterday comes out and he goes, fight's in jeopardy. Oh, that's not great. Because Hamza Chimaev has finally moved up to middleweight. All right, he was a welterweight. Then he had complete disregard for the scale. Then he didn't fight for a while. And he goes, well, what is he doing? Is he fighting middleweight or welterweight? It doesn't make sense. He's in the welterweight rank. He's not a welterweight. So he's moving up in weight, and he's supposed to fight Paulo Costa. It's supposed to be a fun fight, right? And now all of a sudden, fight might be off. And there's not a lot of sexy matchups there. Like Marvin Vettori is possibly a guy that can go, but apparently he turned down the fight. Well, J-Fig, the streets are talking. And our guy, Gilbert Burns, boots on the ground. He has tweeted out a bunch of eyeball emojis. And behind him, in his gym, is Kamaru Usman, the former welterweight champion of the world. And him and Hamzat, they were kind of circling the Shark Tank a little bit there when Hamzat pretended he was a welterweight. He was like, yeah. Well, everybody thought Hamzat was going to be the guy. He was going to face Usman, maybe dethrone Usman before Leon Edwards got him with the kick heard around the world. But now, Gilbert Burns putting those little peep emojis out there, those little peeper emojis. And behind him, training like a true journalist, Gilbert Burns. Friend of the show. Dolphins fan. Heat fan.
He learned from you, I guess. Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Yep.
Behind him, he has Kamaru Usman in the cage. He just goes into the camera and he looks and he goes, someone's getting ready. What does he mean by that?
Getting ready for what, though?
What does he mean? Exactly that. What does he mean by that?
You can get ready, but getting ready for what?
Would he be willing to step in on 11 days' notice, making his middleweight debut to take on Hamzat Chimaev? It seems like this could be the case. We could be seeing the return of Kamaru Usman making a new weight class debut. And then if he beats Hamzat on short notice, because this guy was Stylebender, but Stylebender's not the champ anymore. Strickland is. So now could we be in a situation where Usman is moving up, taking on Hamzat Chimaev? Winner's going to end up going to take on the belt. A lot of drama surrounding next week's UFC 294.
All right. After those 2 losses to Edwards, Usman needs something.
Needs something. Interesting.
And he needs something big.
Yep.
So clearly, if you can't beat this guy, you might need to get out of his division. Right?
Yep.
New division.
Makes sense.
New foes.
Yep.
New opponents.
Yep.
Bigger
Little drama
money.
in the past. You guys
Drama in the past.
chirped in the past.
More money.
I'm sure he's going to get the bag for the short notice step in.
More exposure. And if you win, we can get maybe a fight in the future. Maybe
a title fight right away. Let's go.
I'm looking at the video he posted.
Yep.
He's zooming in.
He's zooming in. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Gilbert knows what he's doing there.
That to me means that somebody's been training for a while, just in case something like this might have happened, and then they got the call that, hey, how you doing?
Yeah,
I'm ready. Well, will you how ready are you? In 11 days, I'll be ready. Okay, we're gonna put you in. That's what that's that type of
it seems
zooming in.
Looks like over at in Deerfield Beach, some action's happening right up the road on 95. That's what I'm seeing.
You should go take a little sneaky sneak.
Maybe they'd probably kick me out.
Well,
Why?
Worth it.
You know what? Not if you bring Tommy. Because Tommy got
Fair
a new
point.
belt.
That's
Tommy will whip your ass.
Yeah.
Fair point, Vlad. All right, we'll take a quick break. Talk a little Cats with our guy David Dorr coming up next.
WQAM.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Tobin and Leroy here with you on 560 WQAM. Hey, football season is here, and so is our Dave & Buster's gift card giveaway. We got your chance with a $250 gift card from Dave & Buster's to watch college football, the NFL, and more. To enter, go online to WQAM's contest page, submit your entry, and if you win, you can go to Dave & Buster's with your gift card and watch your favorite teams, have a little meal, all on us and Dave & Buster's. Eat, drink, play, watch sports at Dave & Buster's in Hollywood. You know who else you can go watch, J-Fig?
Tell me.
The Cats.
I missed hearing that song.
I did too. Because the Cats are back on the Cats are back in action, but the Cats are on the road. So who do we go to when we are on the eve of hockey, the eve of Panthers hockey? Talk to our guy, David Dwork. You know, this man is the best one out there. The man who always gives us our insight on our Cats hockey. What's going on, my friend? How are you, buddy?
Good to see you, Tobes, everybody. It's good to be back.
How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to roll. I feel like this short off season was perfect. Like, it was still pumped up from going to the final last year, and this team, like, they're built to last. So, like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, I'm pumped up. Let's do this.
What has been the big message so far out at camp? You know, they get after this thing. They had this preseason. Felt like it went in a blur from media day to opening day. So I guess were there big headlines out of it? What were the things that you took out of it from a team that was in the Stanley Cup final a year ago? What's the most important thing that you caught on from the time we had media day to now?
I mean, there's a few things. Obviously, there's a bit of turnover. There's a lot of new guys with the two big defensemen, Ekblad and Montour, going to start the season on IR. So I think 5 of the 7 defensemen on the roster are new guys. So that's something that we're going to be keeping an eye on. It looks like fairly seamless. Obviously, you would expect there's going to be little bumps in the road as guys learn new systems, just like we saw with the guys that were here last year. It takes a little time. But overall, I'm pretty enthused about this season. I'm bullish on the Panthers, optimistic. I don't know. I think they're going to pick up where they left off. I think your boy Bob, I think he's locked in. He's looked really good throughout camp. I think Anton Lundell and Itulo Sterainen both look really good in camp. Like, they're going to take big steps forward this year. And just overall, this is a team that's really, they look like they're built to perform, not just at playoff time, but I think they're going to smack a lot of teams in the face during the regular season because they play that tough physical style that we saw in the playoffs that not a lot of teams are good at defending, let alone really know how to handle it. So I'm like I said, I'm just excited to see the season start and see how this all kind of materializes as we get going.
Is there a newcomer you're most excited for? We lose some fan favorites. I'm bummed that Radko Gudas is gone. Leroy's despondent that Duclair's gone. I didn't have the heart to tell him that Lorentz, because we sat down with Steven Lorentz at media day. I didn't have the heart to tell him that was the guy they got for Duclair. But are there any of this? We talked to Kevin Stenlin yesterday. Is there a newcomer that you think it could, I guess, pop? Really, are you excited to see their contributions? Who's the new guy that you're most excited about?
Well, I mean, you mentioned Steven Lorenz, maybe one of the nicest hockey players amid a pool of awesome guys, and one of the nicest, just genuine great dudes out there. Him and Kevin Stenlin are both they're kind of joining with Ryan Lomberg on that fourth line, which I'm really excited to see, just because these are guys that aren't your traditional, they play thumping roles, but that's a lot of talent for a fourth line. So I think both of those guys I'm excited for. But on the forward side, Evan Rodriguez, he's starting on the first line with Sasha Barkov and Carter Verhaeghe. This is a guy who works tirelessly on his shot. He's a shoot-first guy. He's at a crazy one-timer. I think he's a perfect pairing for Sasha Barkov, who we know is like a pass-first playmaker type of guy. So that's one guy that I'm pumped up to see. And then Oliver Ekman-Larsson on defense, somebody who was huge in this league, a big offensive defenseman, put up some big numbers, had a couple down years in Vancouver after breaking his foot twice within like a year or so. It looks like he's ready to kind of pick up where he left off, just in terms of when his career was on an upward trajectory. They're putting him in a position to succeed. He's going to be running the top power play. He's going to be on the top defensive pairing with Gus Forsling, and just has looked really solid since day one. So I'm pretty bullish on both of those dudes.
What do you think is you mentioned Bob being locked in, and it's fascinating because he's had such an interesting, this is his 5th season with the Panthers already. It's kind of crazy. But there's always that time where it feels like, maybe he'll get replaced. And then he has this incredible ride last year where he was, they don't get obviously as far as they got without him. but you also have like the whole thing with Spencer Knight coming back from the OCD, and he was supposed to be kind of maybe the face of the franchise in between the pipes, because he burst onto the scene as a kid, but now you don't know what his future is. I know he got sent down. So the whole situation with goalie, do you just think that all things being equal, they just want Bob to be Bob this entire year? Or do you think there's a chance that Spencer can come back from this and he is, back in the fold by the end of the year? What do you think is the plans at goalie for the whole year?
I don't know if there's like a concrete plan with how they want to handle everything. I think they're kind of taking it as a fluid situation, knowing that they've got this amazing goaltending staff that's really got their finger on the pulse of each of their goaltenders and is kind of tracking how they perform. I think at this moment, the best thing that they're seeing is they want to give Bob a ton of starts. That's what Bob wants. That's what he's built for. That's what he trains for. So they're fine with just letting him kind of have it and running with it. And with Spencer Knight, they want him to get game time too. So that's why he's in the AHL. It's not a performance-based thing. Like, he looked fine in training camp. He looked like if he was going to be in the NHL, he'd perform at that level. Like, he picked up where he left off. But I think they want him to get some games under his belt, which is why he's going to be in the AHL, at least to start. And they've got Anthony Stolarz, very good, capable, huge man, just a giant backup goalie with a great attitude. One of my favorite things about Anthony Stolarz, not to get sidetracked, he's got a Wedding Crashers quote on the back of his helmet, which I think is spectacular.
What does he have?
Bear with me. I'll look it up right now. It's one of the rules. Like, like rule 55, don't leave a guy in a funny hat. Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling. I know this is horrible radio.
No. It says take your time. We'll find. We'll take this is important journalism that we need to know. Also, with yesterday, while you're searching, if you could do two things at once, why was Sergei Bobrovsky asking Matthew Tkachuk to hit him in the face?
You know what? We meant to ask Tkachuk about that today, but we got kind of rushed through because they had a plane to catch. I mean, just watching it go down and watching his interactions with Rob Tallis, I think it wasn't a funny thing. It was like you're hugging the near side post. You want to push rebounds. The only open spot is kind of up here. So practice knocking rebounds with your head. These are like $1,000 helmets that they're built to take that. So it's not like they're looking for it.
Okay.
But I think with Tkachuk, he's just so good and accurate that they had him. It looked really funny, and but I don't think there was anything goofballish behind it.
You said it was rule 55?
Rule 76. No excuses. Play like a champion.
That is, listen, he's right. He's right. That is, a classic from Wedding Crashers. For those who don't know, man, because I saw you write about this a little bit in the offseason, but the Spencer Knight thing was such an interesting story last year. What could you give our audience a little bit of insight as to what did happen with him last year?
Yeah, the way he explained it, he really opened up in an interview with the Hockey News about it. It was something that kind of, I guess, spiraled as he got older. It was an obsessive compulsive disorder issue. He said it started with just continuously washing his hands to the point where, as COVID picked up, he became more just kind of obsessed with the idea of being healthy and not getting sick, and being healthy from diseases and everything. And that just kind of spiraled for him. He ended up getting really sick in February. A lot of the players were under the weather between December and February of last year. Was one of the reasons that they were struggling. But that, combined with what was going on in his head, just it got really bad for him, to the point where he was having trouble sleeping. He was having trouble going through his daily routines. And fortunately, he was able to recognize that and take a step back and utilize what the NHL and the NHLPA joint player assistance program has for the players, and recognize, hey, I can take this time, get healthy, get right. And that's exactly what he did. Now he's back. He's completed his time in the program, and he just looks healthy, happy. He's smiling. He just looks very comfortable out there, like no worse for the wear of anything. And he said that he wants to be open about it. He wants to be helpful if there's other people who are suffering the way he did, that he's hoping that maybe somebody will see his story and understand that you can take a step back and get the help that you need. But yeah, it was obviously a very interesting year for Spencer. And then in the middle of all that, for his teammates to be going to the Stanley Cup final and to kind of be watching that from the outside, it was quite an experience for Spencer this year.
One more before we get you out of here, David. At David Dork, go follow him all season long, and his coverage of the Florida Panthers. He's boots on the ice. He's got everything there for you. Does a great job. Matthew Tkachuk, sensational Panthers debut season. The kid, it was every bit as good as advertised, if not better. being the face of the franchise during the All-Star weekend, his unbelievably clutch goals, did it with a broken sternum at one point. Turning 26 this year. What, like, is there a bigger expectation even that you like, when does hockey prime hit? Like, is there supposed to be another level this guy hits being only the age that he is? Like, is it fair to expect more out of him? Does there something different that he's got to bring to this team? What do you think is the expectations of Matthew Tkachuk this year?
It's crazy to think that there could be another level for him to get just because he's been so amazing and so clutch, which those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive of one another. But this guy was putting up the points. He was scoring big goals. And as he said, 26 years old. Hockey prime, late 20s to your early 30s, depending on the guy. So he hasn't even really gotten there yet. He's just scratching the surface and getting into those prime years of his career. So I think it's fair to say, just based on, logical, the way that, athletes grow, that there's more. I think he would expect more of himself, that he can do more. He's learning. He's still a young guy. But yeah, I think it's not crazy to think that this guy could do more, which what more could he do? 120, 130 point season, maybe 40 plus 50 goals. Last year he was an MVP finalist. So, I guess the next step for him is just win an MVP, win a scoring trophy, and, raise the Stanley Cup.
Buddy, it's great seeing you again.
Good to see you too, man. I can't believe Media Day was so long ago. I was just thinking, like, when I saw you out there.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
It flew by. You enjoying the Dolphins?
I'm wearing my Dolphins colored nice button down shirt here just because it's Dolphin colors today. I'm very much enjoying the Dolphins. I'm going crazy over here. It's unprecedented. I just pray to God that they stay healthy, because that's the only thing that could stop this team at this point.
Go follow David Dwork at David Dwork on Twitter. He covers the Panthers for the Hockey News, and you guys catch his work also on Local 10. Thank you for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Happy to see you guys. Take care.
All right, there you go. Take a quick break. Wrap things up on the other side. Back with more for this. All right, welcome back, you rascals. Tobin and Leroy here with you. So, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to gather around. We just had David Dwork on trying to get the updates on Mike McDaniel, who did speak with the media earlier this hour on De'Von Achane. He's not like, he doesn't really have like a description of the injury. He's like, there's not a black and white diagnosis of it. He's not saying it's a sprain or anything like that, but it is something they feel like he needs a good amount of time to recover from. So,
are they not being deliberate just so that people are not going to try to attack that certain injury when he does come back?
I don't know. I mean, like, they tell you it's a knee. I mean, you only got 2 to choose from, Vlad.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, it's the lack of detail in this injury is kind of weird because
it is weird. Normally, it's like either a bruise or a strain, and that was one of the things that I found weird about him on Monday because he was being like very, he was dancing around it a lot. So it's one of those things where I was like, I don't know what the hell. I didn't feel great about what he was saying with the injury
because the way he was making it seem like, it's like, all right, he might miss a week or two, but it's not serious. He just might need a couple of weeks. But then he was avoiding saying IR. But then now he's in the IR. Yeah. He's on the IR. It's like, okay, what is it now?
I didn't see the video, but Omar's saying like he danced around whether he'll undergo a surgical procedure. So I don't know if he's going to get a scope or anything, clean it up. But look, it's going to be a little bit. The biggest point of it is that he's not going to be here until the Raiders game at the least.
Pretty much, he's going to be after the bye. Yeah.
So like, don't get used to having De'Von Achane. That being said, he does say he says get your popcorn ready with Jeff Wilson's practice. So I guess Jeff Wilson's been itching to get back out there. He was really a tone changer last year for their run game. So it's going to be interesting to see what he brings to the table because, he's kind of been the forgotten man. You think about this entire training camp and, it's been Mostert and Achane and there's been Ahmed. Ahmed had an incredible preseason that Jeff Wilson's kind of been the forgotten element to all this stuff. So I think they'll be okay, but it's definitely still a blow, even though I think Mostert is really good. It's more to the effect of I didn't think Achane was going to be this impactful right out of the gate. I thought maybe he'd have a nice play here and there. He'd bust one loose every once in a while. He's done it every damn game.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's like, because when you get that rookie running back, you don't know how this league treats running backs, but when you get that rookie running back,
you ease them in.
Yeah.
But so when they,
but you saw this with Brees last year,
right?
When he burst on this, you're like,
no. When we saw Brees, it was like after week 3, after week 4, you're like, oh my, but they had to ease him into becoming that man. You don't want to give these guys 15, 20, 25 carries right out the gate. They got to get eased into the end of new NFL because they're coming from college. They're playing against grown men now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Achane's not a big dude.
Achane's not a big
Although
dude.
he does say, like, he made a point of this. I don't know if this was a jinx on him or what, but he said, like, I don't take direct hits. Now, this isn't the knee. It's not like he took a concussion or something like that. But, this guy's been sensational to see, like, anytime he literally touches the football, feeling like he could go for, he's averaging 12 yards a carry, for God's sakes.
What's bothersome about this is that the carries were going to increase.
For sure.
As they get in, as the season continues, he's more comfortable playing. He's had what he would have had 8 to 9 weeks, but now this is a it's a speed bump into the momentum that he's been providing. So hopefully it's just inflammation. Swelling goes down, the knee gets better, and he's back on the field in no time. Well, in 4 weeks, but he's back healthy and ready to go. Because what's the schedule like the next 4 weeks? We said the Dolphins are playing.
Carolina this week. They stink.
Philly.
Philly's really good. Patriots stink. Kansas City's really good.
So
it goes.
At worst, they can go.
You go
2-2.
bum good, and then bye, and then bum with the Raiders.
So 2-2 at work. I mean, I would think
if you could get to the bye, 4 games. So they're 4-1 right now. If you can get to the bye
7-3.
If you could get to their 7-3, that'd be awesome.
I think that'd be great. I think you still be either tied for first or in first place in the AFC.
I would think
Buffalo
so,
still
too.
has some tough games that they have to contend with.
We got some injury news out of Heat camp as well. Heat practice today. Anthony Chang tweeting out from the Miami Herald minutes ago. The Heat says that Nikola Jovic is at the doctor for further evaluation on his knee injury, so no update on him. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. strained his groin in practice today. So, interesting. That's neither one of those make me feel great. Not a great day for injuries, ladies and gentlemen.
Why? Just keep on piling.
Not a great day for injuries, J-Fig. A lot of things happening. Jaime Jaquez, Nikola Jovic banged up, De'Von Achane banged up. None of this stuff is making me feel good.
All the favorites.
I need to go, put some cucumbers slices on my eyes and, maybe taking some eucalyptus mist or something like that. Relax a little bit from this. But this is not good. This is not great. I'm not a fan of hearing about all these injuries. Jesus.
Do you think the Dolphins need to be active during the trading deadline?
I don't know. I mean, they did just trade for Claypool. That's the other thing. Claypool's probably going to make his debut this week, I would think. I don't know, man. I think that they have, so many of their parts. Depends, I guess, how much, guys are going to be out. But I think that a lot of their parts are pretty set. I mean, I guess you could always use more offensive line help for sure, especially center backup, if that's possible. Swing, if a guy could little, just a thought. I know Mike McDaniel says that it's not his finished Picasso, even though I wish it was. But no, I don't know. I think that I didn't see the Claypool deal coming for sure. So it's pretty wild. Sheesh.
I wonder how Leroy is surviving, by the way. It's not worrying.
Well,
that's okay over here.
It's okay over here. Where's the golf course? Do you know?
It's in Coral Gables.
It's in Coral Gables. Solana's out there. Solana won't be on.
I think they're golfing together.
Solana. Wait a minute.
He's a golfer.
Oh, I got it. There's no way he's not dropping S-bombs on Solana. You know what? If I was Solana, man. I would have gone to the golf course with ketchup chips.
How about
Sure he did.
Giving Solana the
I
business.
would literally I would have gone on a golf course with ketchup chips, and every time Leroy's about to swing, I would take
Just
a chip
crunch.
and eat it, and make a crunch.
Yeah, Solana could be really annoying on the course. Like if he wanted to Leroy, he could ruin that for him.
I don't understand what we should have video.
Ruin that for him.
We should have video footage of those two on the links.
Yeah,
on the course. That would be historical.
I'm on my way.
Is that your rain?
Is that rain falling in your?
It's rain. Yes. Do you see how dark it's gotten in here?
Scooby scratching.
I thought it was Scooby.
No, it is the rain hitting my windows.
Getting his endurance on. Oh wow, that's rain.
Apparently, Steven says it's pouring in Coral Gables. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
hope they have lunch out there for Leroy.
One last piece of injury news, according to reporters. Jalen Phillips still day-to-day with an oblique injury. Mike McDaniel says they're keeping their long-term health in mind. That's from Marcel Louis Jacques from ESPN. So, again, this has not been a great hour for injuries, ladies and gentlemen. Not a great hour. We get De'Von Achane, the news there. Not great. The Jaime Jaquez, he left with a strained groin. Nikola Jovic is at a doctor, and Jalen Phillips is day-to-day.
Wow, Jalen. Wow, I'm gonna name this hour of the podcast "Injury Hour."
It's just injuries, dude.
No.
All over the place. Just injuries.
It is basically
It's been injuries all over the place. So
that's all we've talked about the last hour.
I
Just
mean,
injuries. This is bad.
It's been tough, man. Tough, banged up day here on the program. That's for sure. Before we get out of here today, I want to let you guys know one more time: Stars and Strings, a great night of country music, is coming to Hard Rock Live November 1st. To win tickets right now to see Jordan Davis, Hardy, Brian Kelly, Ashley McBride, Cole Swindell, and Haley Witters, text the word country to 20357. That's country to 20357. And tickets are available for purchase at starsandstrings.com. leeeeeeeeroyyyyyyy.com and check that on out. Leroy will be back tomorrow, everybody. We will see what kind of shenanigans ensue as we get closer to a little Miami Dolphins action. And everybody drive safe out there. Some crazy, crazy weather going on with it. So there it is. Yeah.
It's raining in the studio again.
I gotta give Nick T credit, man. He said it sounds like a bunch of birds attacking Jay Figg's
they're
window.
after her.
Stop it. That's not what it is.
Oof. Crazy. Everybody have a great rest of your day. If you missed any of the show, get the Tobin and Leroy podcast on all your podcast platforms, and you guys can go back and you can watch the show on YouTube and Twitch, the channel Miami 560 WQM. Go subscribe every single day. You guys can watch live. You guys can watch Hockman and Crowder as well. The Javon Holland interview is up there from yesterday. He was great. And Krantz's Corner, the whole kit and caboodle of our shows here on the show Sports Day with Dan Day and Vlad. You guys can watch them live every single Saturday as well. And we'll talk to you rat bastards tomorrow.
I get what's happening. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that, like, there's so many other variables, like hand-to-hand combat when it comes to basketball and the intensity of football and then that intensity in the playoffs, that sometimes when you have a week off, you kind of start sluggish.
Hand-to-hand, or if you're Victor Wembanyama, apparently hand-to-head, because he apparently headbutt Chet Holmgren last night.
It's the only guy is his height.
That was amazing.
I've never seen two breadsticks go at each other like that. It was, wow.
Man, we'll take a quick